The only difference between spirit stones and high-grade spirit stones was their spiritual energy. Among the different gems, there might be unusual treasures. When he spread out the gem mountain, he actually found a dozen origin jade stones. In the underground market of the spirit sect ruins, a piece of origin jade stone was worth 100,000 immortal pure essence pills, and these dozens of origin jade stones were worth 10 million immortal pure essence pills. 10 million immortal pure elemental pills was an astronomical figure for cultivators below the imperishable stage. Ordinary immortal stage cultivators would only have 1 million to 10 million pure elemental pills. Mysterious Yellow refined these origin jade stones. The next time we go to the Yuan City, with our current wealth, we can purchase a certain amount of mysterious yellow stones and origin jade stones. He immediately gave the origin jade stone to the mysterious yellow origin spirit. There were also other indescribable treasures among the gems. In order to figure out the value of these gems, Su Fong invited Green Feather King into the bag. As expected, Green Feather King was very knowledgeable. He recognized most of the gems, but there were a few that he couldn't identify. 10,000-year-old fire serpent fruit, as well as fire serpent fruit, white flower fruit, and heavenly fragrance fruit. These spiritual items are all peerless treasures that have lived for over 10,000 years. After cleaning up the spirit stones and gems, the two of them came to the area where the spiritual items were stored. The spiritual items inside shocked Green Feather King. There were over 100 kinds of spiritual items that had lived for over 10,000 years. From fruits to flowers, there are also some rare spiritual tree seeds. These were all cultivation resources for Yang Soul Realm experts. Over 10,000 enchanted treasures. There are over 30 high-grade enchanted items. It seems the owner of this bag is really amazing. Let's see if there are any king-grade enchanted items. After cleaning up the spiritual items, they came to the treasure formation. The floating treasures made Green Feather King and Su Fong stare. Su Fong took out an extraordinary enchanted item. Green Feather King looked at it and was pleasantly surprised. A king-grade enchanted item. What a king-grade enchanted item. This enchanted item is strange. Why does it look like a giant eagle statue? Touching the king-grade enchanted item, Green Feather King saw that it was actually a half-foot-tall, black eagle statue. It was just a decoration. A decoration. You don't understand. This king-grade enchanted item is a special enchanted item refined by a human expert who hunted and suppressed a giant eagle on the same level as the Leech King. Then he used that eagle's essence, flesh, and soul to refine it. This kind of enchanted item is extremely rare. Its quality is similar to the Myriad World Banner and Baleful Black Saber you gave Junior Commander to cultivate. It might even be a bit higher. Isn't the refining process similar to a puppet? Yes, there are some similarities. At the very least, they're both treasures refined from flesh and blood. This king even saw a human-shaped enchanted item. A Yang Soul Realm expert was killed and refined into a human-shaped divine weapon by a refining expert. I didn't expect the cultivation world to be so cruel. So a little cultivator like you is very naive in front of the big shots. What you think is unimaginable is something the big shots think is a guarantee for them to increase their cultivation base. Perhaps this isn't a Yang Soul Realm expert killed by a refiner, but someone else who killed him and gave his corpse to a refiner to refine. Even if that refiner killed his enemy and refined the corpse into an enchanted item, it's still a resource. The blood of a Yang Soul Realm expert can increase the strength of many little cultivators. A corpse is a treasure trove. Whether it's humans or demons, cultivation is all about the physical body. Senior really knows a lot. After Green Feather King explained, Su Fong was no longer disgusted by the feathered eagle in his hand. This king relied on more than 10,000 years of cultivation to accumulate so much knowledge. When you've cultivated for 10,000 years, you'll know 100 times or even 10,000 times more than this king. Green Feather King did not think highly of himself. This king-grade instrument is not bad. It should contain an advantage in attack and speed, especially speed. The Eagle Demon speed is not much different from my Pung races. You can fuse with it. With it, the speed of ordinary Yang Nascent Realm experts will not be able to match you, unless they're Yang Nascent Realm experts who are 5 layers above you. However, if you fuse with too many instruments, it will also put a burden on your strength, life, and other aspects, affecting your cultivation speed. One more divine ability, one more instrument, is equal to one more burden. With it, he wouldn't have to rely on teleportation talismans anymore. So this enchanted item had such an advantage. Su Fong was truly moved, but Green Feather King's words also made sense. He had already fused with so many enchanted items. He would put them away first. I'll give this enchanted item to Luan Mo to cultivate. With a plan in mind, he checked the other treasures with Green Feather King. Yang Soul Realm experts had quite a few secret divine ability manuals. There were hundreds of them. That was already shocking. In the end, this empty pouch was a treasure trove. It was enough for Su Fong to buy the materials needed to refine the Yang Strengthening Pill, as well as profound Yellowstone and Origin Jade. Su Fong then began to clean up the empty bags of the undead, and immortal level cultivators. Su Fong did not look at these empty bags very carefully. He cleared out all the spiritual stones, gems, and magic treasures and placed them in the Xianwang space. It became a space of magic treasures, spiritual stones, and elixirs. After clearing out the spiritual items, Su Fong gave 2 10,000-year-old spirit fruits to the Green Feather King. Now, I have tens of thousands of longevity realm and undying realm enchanted items. It's too shocking. No Yang Soul Realm expert would have so many resources, let alone spirit stones, gems, and medicinal pills. I didn't expect a trip to the Heaven Gourd realm would make me a big landlord. Su Fong was very excited. He had sorted out so many treasures. Some of them could be used to refine pills or cultivate. Su Fong put away all the empty pouches and took out a jade bottle. Senior, what should I do with the Earth Gourd Realm spirit water? Sell it. You don't have any resources. You're already the lord of a great land, so it would be a pity to sell it. The Earth Gourd Realm's spirit water can be used to refine pills and nurture spiritual items. Green Feather King looked at Su Fong as if he was wasting a treasure. Don't you have the Flame Cloud Spirit Gourd? Since you're cultivating it, you can use the Earth Gourd Realm's spirit water to nourish it. The Earth Gourd Realm's spirit water will grow at a shocking rate. You can also use a portion of the Earth Gourd Realm's spirit water to refine Yang Strengthening Pills. That way, your Yang Strengthening Pills will surpass pure Yuan pills. Don't you have the Dragon Subduing Wood? That would also need the Earth Gourd Realm's spirit water. Hens. All you have to do is eat your eggs. Even if you don't have any, you have hens. Spirit trees are hens. Once they mature, they'll bear fruit. Then you won't have to waste money buying resources. You won't have to go to those dangerous lands to search for resources. Senior is absolutely right. Then how should I nurture the Flame Cloud Spirit Gourd and those spirit tree seeds? The Flame Cloud Spirit Gourd is a magical treasure. As long as you condense a formation and place the Earth Gourd Realm's spirit water together with it, it will naturally grow. As for the spirit tree seeds, they cannot be nurtured in your body. That's because they require soil and heaven and earth chi to grow. You don't have those on you. Then take out a large amount of spirit stones to create a growing pool. Whether it's the Flame Cloud Spirit Gourd or the spirit tree seeds, they'll both grow at a shocking rate. Senior, you obtained a dozen undying flowers in Wet Forest Valley. 3 of them were high-level undying flowers that grew from the corpses of Yang Soul experts. Take this one to cultivate. Now that he knew how to use the Earth Gourd Realm spirit water, Su Fong had a plan. He then took out a unique, undying flower and gave it to Green Feather King. Green Feather King didn't make a sound and simply ate it. With its cultivation base, who knew how many undying flowers it had eaten? Luan Mo, Leech King. As he turned around, he released his will. Leech King flew over from the profound yellow space. A ray of demonic light flew out from Su Fong's right arm. Leech King and Luan Mo appeared. Master, Leech King, your strength has already reached the Yang Soul Realm. Wanamo, you're at the undying 10th layer. Here are 2 Yang Soul Realm undying flowers. Take them and fuse with them. I believe that after fusing with their power, your strength will clearly increase. Su Fong was truly not stingy. He didn't keep such a peerless treasure for himself, but actually gave it to his 2 servants. What were servants? They were just tools in Su Fong's hands. Tools that could be discarded at any time. Many thanks, Master. Leech King and Luan Mo excitedly knelt down and received the 2 undying flowers from Su Fong. Luan Mo, this is a King Grey Dharma artifact I just obtained. You can cultivate with it. You're a true demon. Only with this King Grey Dharma artifact can you match your status. He then solemnly handed the feathered Eagle King Grey Dharma artifact to Luan Mo. Chapter 256. Royal Grey Dharma Artifact. Luan Mo's hands trembled as he received the feathered eagle. He focused all his attention on the artifact. Fuse well. I will leave the celestial sealing sect soon. You can return to the world to cultivate, undergo tribulations, and fuse artifacts. After Su Fong gave a few instructions, he let the 2 masters go and cultivate. Earth Realm Spirit Water. With a thought, Su Fong arrived at the 6th level of the Xianhuang 6 Paths Pagoda. It was also the highest level of the pagoda. Master, the black-yellow primordial spirit turned into a pagoda and floated there. I want to build a spirit pond made of spirit stones to hold the Earth Realm Spirit Water and nurture the Flaming Cloud Spirit Gourd. Cooperate with me. After saying that, he took out a large number of spirit stones and some gems. With the help of the black-yellow primordial spirit, the spirit stones flew neatly into the air. The spirit stones were slowly embedded together, forming an altar-like spirit stone structure. As more and more spirit stones appeared, the flying speed was not very fast. It took more than 10 days for the spirit stone pond to be completed. It was 6 meters wide and 1 meter tall. The space inside was only about 1 meter wide. Earth Realm Spirit Water. He wiped his sweat. He did not expect that using a large number of spirit stones to build a spirit pond would not only consume time, but also energy. He took out a jade bottle and circulated his magic power. Spirit water the size of a pinky slowly flew out of the bottle and fell into the spirit pond. When the spirit water was 3 feet high, he poured the Flaming Cloud Spirit Gourd into the spirit pond. When the Flaming Cloud Spirit Gourd touched the Earth Realm Spirit Water, it actually trembled and slowly sank into the Earth Realm Spirit Water. The mouth of the gourd was exposed, as expected of a spirit gourd from the Heavenly Gourd Spirit Tree. Although it was not a mother gourd, but a child gourd, the moment it entered the spirit pond, it began to release a natural spirit light. The spirit light circulated and started to absorb the Earth Realm Spirit Water. The speed was very slow. The Earth Realm Spirit Water formed a whirlpool around the Flaming Cloud Spirit Gourd. I estimate that in a few years, this bit of Earth Realm Spirit Water and Spirit Stones will have to build a new spirit pond. All the spirit chi will be absorbed by the Spirit Gourd. After staring at it for a while, he could feel the spiritual fire and green, evil, primordial fire inside the Flaming Cloud Spiritual Gourd surging. The fused original spirit of Sword Chi did not have a strong consciousness, but it was absorbing the essence of the Flaming Cloud Spiritual Gourd and fusing with the gourd. It wanted to completely control the gourd and become its original spirit. How should I cultivate a spirit tree seed? It needs a natural environment, but it also needs to be in a secret place. If it's discovered by cultivators, they'll definitely fight over it. After leaving the mysterious yellow space, he got up and cleaned up the cave before flying out of the cave. Stepping on the wind-fire dual spirit swords, he quickly flew out of the immortal sealing sect. Da Yuan City is within the borders of the celestial sealing sect. It would take a few days to fly there. A few hours later, Su Fong was far away from the house of Immortal Bestowal's Taoist Rite Temple and the lands it controlled. Along the way, they passed by many empires controlled by the Immortal Sealing Sect, as well as some cities controlled by powerful clans. Those powers all relied on the Immortal Sealing Sect. If someone dared to offend them, just like how they had killed Qing Rulong in Sword Apex City. The Qing family would quickly ask the Broken Sword sect for help. On the fourth day, a vast city appeared. This city was different from the others because it was floating 100 meters in the air. The Yuan city was built by the Immortal Sealing sect. It's a trading city directly controlled by the Immortal Sealing sect. Every year, the Immortal Sealing sect would gather a shocking amount of wealth. It's also the largest trading city in the Awa Heaven Realm. There's also a special teleportation gate here that connects to many of the Crimson Firmament Continent's trading cities. Green Feather King was also looking at the Yuan city. It seemed he had been here before. Su Fong was startled. A special teleportation gate? The Yuan city has a special teleportation gate that connects to the Crimson Firmament Continent's major powers. Special teleportation gates are very common for cultivators, especially for major powers. There are countless special teleportation gates between their Taoist right temples, and the most powerful ones are the teleportation gates. They use a large amount of spirit stones to create them, and there are experts in charge of them. The price of each teleportation is also very high. There are also a few special teleportation gates between the Zhui Heaven Realm and the Wutan Realm. Of course, the most shocking ones are the teleportation gates. They're passages between minor worlds. For example, the Awa Heaven Realm and the Wutan Realm can be reached through the teleportation gates. Those teleportation gates are even more expensive. Senior, if a cultivator without enough wealth can't use the teleportation gates, how can they leave the Zhua Heaven Realm? For you to be able to think of this problem, it seems you also yearn for those other worlds. Green Feather King smiled. The teleportation gates are the most important and common means of passage between minor worlds. But for an extremely small number of experts, they have to rely on themselves. For example, a magic treasure like that feathered eagle you saw before can be used to fly out of the Zhua Heaven Realm. It can fly for a long time in the vast, cold universe before entering another minor world. Other than speed magic treasures, there's also a magic treasure called the Heavenly Boat. It's a flying magic treasure that only major powers can use. The Heavenly Boat, what a mystical and majestic magic treasure. Can't major powers use the teleportation gates to travel between minor worlds? Why would they need a heavenly boat? Su Fong felt very conflicted. The teleportation gates are only built in minor worlds with a large number of cultivators. Some minor worlds are desolate and have no teleportation gates. For example, the Human Emperor world is a desolate planet that has lost its civilization. It's very far away, and there's no way to build a teleportation gate. How can cultivators go there? Cultivators have to rely on themselves. How many of them can go to the Human Emperor world? Even for major powers, it's not easy. That's why major powers buy a heavenly boat or build a heavenly boat. One heavenly boat can carry 1,000 people through the cold universe from the Zhua Heaven Realm to the Human Emperor world. So that's how it is. The Human Emperor world. It seems the major powers have prepared quite a few heavenly boats to go there at all times to find the fragments of the Human Emperor's bright wheel. The Immortal Sealing sect sealed the fragment of the Human Emperor's bright wheel in my body. They found it in the Human Emperor world. Some fragments are scattered in other worlds. Senior, other than heavenly boats and flying magic treasures, cultivators can't go to the Human Emperor world. Power. Power. Cultivators who can survive in the cold universe are all peerless powerhouses, like Immortal Toad and Sky Drill Rat Emperor. They can rely on themselves and their magic treasures to go to other minor worlds. However, even they will encounter all kinds of unexpected accidents. Outside the Iwa Heaven Realm is another world. Undying and imperishable realm cultivators will choose to teleport through a teleportation gate. As for Yang Soul Realm powerhouses, most of them will also choose to teleport through a teleportation gate. There are also those who choose to use magic treasures, but the prerequisite is that they have to use a rare flying magic treasure. With Luan Mo's feathered eagle, I can ride it with Luan and Mo in the future and go to the vast world to find the Heaven Dipper realm. After chatting, Su Fong didn't fly to the Yuan city. They went to another world. Along the way, They checked the map and finally found a vast, desolate plateau. This place was called the Meteorite Field. The Meteorite Field was located between the Immortal Sealing Sect and the True Art Sacred Sect. On the other side was the Crimson Firmament Continent's first-rate major force, the True Art Sacred Sect. It was rumored that this righteous sect obtained a remnant immortal technique and eventually became a major force. As for the Meteorite Field, it was rumored that tens of thousands of years ago, a large number of meteorites suddenly fell from the sky and landed here, causing this place to become a desolate land. Living beings couldn't live here. Over time, it naturally became a place where humans couldn't live. When Su Fong arrived at the Meteorite Field, he saw that the ground was almost completely black. Most of it was just plants, and there were a few big trees scattered in the wasteland. After entering the depths, he found that some places had avoided the meteorite catastrophe and formed a small forest. After examining the Meteorite Field's environment, Su Fong asked the Green Feather King who had guided him here, "Senior, there is still some spiritual qi in the Meteorite Field. There are also places suitable for cultivators to cultivate. There should be cultivators who come here. If they cultivate spiritual tree seeds or establish a secret cave residence here, there's a chance they'll be discovered. There are all kinds of possibilities. Compared to the heavenly Gore domain and the spirit sect's ruins, the Meteorite Field doesn't have abundant spiritual qi or natural spiritual treasures. However, this place has the advantages you need. For example, it's a special environment. It's located between two major powers. Generally, only cultivators from those two powers pass through here. There aren't any outsiders. Secondly, there aren't any spiritual objects or natural treasures growing here, so no cultivators will come here to search for treasures. Therefore, other than cultivators cultivating secret arts or undergoing tribulation, you won't encounter many cultivators throughout the year. They also won't stay here for long. Moreover, this place is close to the Immortal Sealing Sect. If you have nothing to do, you can come here. Yes, then Junior will find an ordinary forest." He looked around and finally found a forest in a wasteland canyon. Other than the forest, there was only rubble in the canyon. There wasn't the slightest bit of vitality. From time to time, some small animals would flash by, but there weren't any fierce demons. Summoning the Demon King and Leech King, the two experts learned that Su Fong wanted to establish a secret cave residence here. They immediately understood what they had to do. In the middle of the forest, the two used their magical power to dig a tunnel underground. The speed at which the two young soul experts dug was extremely shocking. Su Fong sucked all the rubble they dug out into an empty pouch. He couldn't let himself see any traces. Several days later, Su Fong entered the tunnel and arrived at a depth of 300 meters. A cave was being excavated. Each time the two experts used their divine abilities, there would be a series of rumbling explosions. Su Fong took action and sucked the flying sand into his empty pouch. There was also a large amount of gravel. Not long after, a spacious underground stone hall appeared. He took out a large number of spirit stones and gems and embedded them in the hall. In an instant, the spiritual qi here was abundant. Adding on the aura of heaven and earth, it couldn't compare to the Immortal Sealing Sect, but it was still a cultivation cave. Whoosh! Whoosh! More than 100 slaves appeared. Su Fong asked them to continue excavating small caves in the surroundings. In the future, most of the slaves would concoct impotence pills here and cultivate by themselves. The slaves were all cultivators. Although there were countless resources in the magical treasure space, there was no spiritual qi of heaven and earth. They could only improve their strength rapidly for a short period of time. When they reached a certain level, they would encounter a bottleneck. But if they cultivated here, they could absorb the spiritual qi of heaven and earth. About 3 months later, the underground hall was expanded 10 times. There were many tunnels in the surroundings that led to different spaces. Su Fong still took out a large number of resources and handed them to Luan Mo. In the future, Luan Mo would be in charge of this secret cave residence with all the slaves except for the Demon King. The Demon King and the 6 commanders had to stay by Su Fong's side at all times. This secret cave residence was mainly used for concocting pills and cultivating spiritual tree seeds. With Luan Mo, who had reached the undying 10th layer and had the strength of a Yang soul expert, it was enough to protect this secret cave residence. In the hall, Su Fong began to take out spirit stones to build another spiritual pool. The Demon King assisted him from the side. Su Fong only needed to give some suggestions and take out all kinds of resources. Chapter 257. The Supreme Demon King was a young nascent realm expert. With his help, they only needed a few days to build a spiritual pond. Once the spiritual pond was built, a portion of the earth boundary's spiritual water was drawn into it. The spiritual pond immediately spewed out a shocking amount of spiritual qi, which flowed into the various caves. All the servants who were building the caves felt the spiritual qi seeping into them. Su Fong then took out a dozen spiritual tree seeds and threw them into the spiritual pond. When the spiritual tree seeds sank into the earth boundary's spiritual water and absorbed the spiritual energy of the spiritual pond, a peculiar vitality came out of the spiritual pond. The Supreme Demon King bowed. Master, I don't know where these spiritual tree seeds came from. We can only determine what kind of spiritual tree they are after they grow. It's a pity that spiritual trees need countless years to grow, at least a few thousand years. This cave is mainly used to secretly refine yang, strengthening pills, and cultivate. As for the spiritual tree seeds, they can provide spiritual qi while they grow. The cave was almost finished, but there were still some places that needed to be set up, such as the barrier under the cave and the barrier at the entrance of the forest. Half a year later, the secret cave had just been built. The forest looked ordinary, and the entrance was perfectly hidden. With the formation cast by the Supreme Demon King, other than young nascent realm experts, no one would be able to find any clues. Even if a young nascent realm expert came here, he wouldn't be able to find the entrance if he didn't look carefully. I only have the 3 yang cauldron and another mid-grade pill cauldron. Last time, I gave 2 to Mayer. This time, I'm going to Yuan City to buy a high-grade pill cauldron. In the secret cave, Su Fong ordered Luan Mo to oversee the cultivation of the servants. Then he took the Leech King and the Supreme Demon King to the sky above the meteorite. After thinking for a while, Su Fong looked at the 2 experts. The Yuan City is under the control of the Immortal Sealing Sect. I can't be the leader. Now, I'm your follower. When we get to the Yuan City, you'll go and buy pill cauldrons, materials, and negotiate with the Merchant Association about the yang strengthening pill. Yes. The 2 bowed and answered. Su Fong once again transformed into an ordinary appearance and flew towards the Yuan City with the 2 great experts. In a day's time, the 3 of them entered the Yuan City. Disciples of the Celestial Sealing Sect could be seen everywhere. As expected of a city run by the Celestial Sealing Sect, there was a sea of people everywhere. Businesses were everywhere, and every street was either filled with people or peddlers. Disciples of the Ziwei Star Sect, the Broken Sword Sect, the All Saints Sect of Green Mountain, and even the Dual Immortal Sect could be seen from time to time. The True Spell Sacred Immortal Sect had the most disciples. It seemed like they often traveled with the Celestial Sealing Sect. Most of them hid their identities, and the majority of them were rogue cultivators. There was nothing strange about being into Yuan City. The disciples of the Celestial Sealing Sect were the masters of this place. Even if it was a Heaven Fusion Stage disciple, they would also receive protection here. Immortal Bestowment Trading Company. On every street, there was a large merchant guild. It was the Immortal Bestowment Merchant Guild established by the Immortal Bestowment Sect. The auras of the 4 true characters contained the essence of the House of Immortal Sealing, as well as the 7 great divine abilities. Su Fong could see disciples of the House of Immortal Sealing everywhere he went. Even though the Devil King and Leech King were hiding their auras, the 2 young nascent soul experts still stood out among the crowd. They didn't have the slightest bit of aura, so they were definitely peerless experts. They found a manager and went to a room. The 3 of them sat down, and the manager walked over. Su Fong could tell from his accessories that he was an expert from the celestial sealing sex Qingqing paradise. He was also at the 10th undying heavenly layer. This man was around 30 years old. He didn't give people the feeling that he was a genius, but he was a steady person. He nodded and said, "You've all hidden your strength. Is there anything the Merchant Guild can do for you?" The Heavenly Gourd Domain. Your celestial sealing sect also participated in the fight for the Heavenly Gourd, said the Lich King slowly. Could it be that you have the Heavenly Gourd Domain's spirit water? When the Heavenly Gourd Domain was mentioned, the man thought of the treasures that came from there. It should be the Heavenly Gourd Domain's spirit water. They couldn't have come for the Heavenly Gourd Domain's spirit water. I didn't come for the Heavenly Gourd Domain's spirit water. When the Heavenly Gourd Domain appeared, our people went to sell yang strengthening pills. Today, we came to cooperate with your Merchant Guild. These are yang strengthening pills. Supreme Devil King took out 3 yang strengthening pills, and they were all at the Undying Realm. Once the yang strengthening pills appeared, they naturally released a shocking amount of yang energy. It was like rings of life energy were calling out to cultivators to consume them. Yang strengthening pills. The man frowned. He clearly didn't know about the yang strengthening pills. He indicated for the 3 of them to sit and wait for a bit before leaving the room with the 3 pills. Later, the price will be above the pure essence pill. For now, we'll only cooperate with the celestial sealing sect. As for the pill ingredients and pill cauldrons, we'll go to another merchant guild to buy them. We can't let the celestial sealing sect know about us. Su Fong secretly sent a message to the Lich King and Supreme Devil King. He had a clear plan in his heart. In the Zhuotian realm, he understood the celestial sealing sect the most. Cooperating with the celestial sealing sect could be considered as knowing everything about them. If the celestial sealing sect made any movements in the future, such as wanting to steal the yang strengthening pills recipe, he would be able to learn from them. The celestial sealing sect would never have thought that the true owner of the yang strengthening pill would be one of their own disciples. About 2 hours later, 4 disciples of the celestial sealing sect appeared. One of them was a young nascent realm cultivator. Supreme Devil King could tell his cultivation level at a glance. A young nascent realm cultivator at the 6th stage. His strength completely suppressed Supreme Devil King. This was an old man, by Luagio. When he saw Supreme Devil King and Lich King, the old man was slightly startled. Naturally, he could tell that not only were the young nascent realm cultivators, but their auras were also different from those of the righteous Tao. I'm the person in charge of this branch. You can call me president. The old man stood and nodded to Lich King and Supreme Devil King before leading the other 3 to sit down. Supreme Devil King cupped his fists. President, you should know about the effects of the yang strengthening pill, right? The old man said, the effects of the pill are amazing. It's indeed a top-notch pill. We also found out that the yang strengthening pill once appeared in the Supreme God Sect's underground market in the ruins of the Spirit Sect. We don't know why it suddenly came here and cooperated with our celestial sealing sect. To tell you the truth, our organization cooperated with the Supreme God Sect, but we were tricked by them several times, especially when they wanted to get the formula of the impotence pill. But we were never satisfied. So we broke off with the Supreme God Sect and chose to cooperate with the Celestial Sealing School in the end. We're a famous sect, so we can't be like the Supreme God Sect, the Demon King answered in an imposing manner. They were all young, nascent realm cultivators. Each of their words was full of pressure. I don't want to know about your conflict with the Supreme God Sect. If you really want to cooperate with our Celestial Sealing Sect, you have to guarantee that you have enough pills. Our celestial sealing sect has established branches not only in the Zhuotian world, but also in many small worlds. The yang strengthening pill's effects are amazing. If you can guarantee that you can refine it, then one day, the yang strengthening pill will be known by everyone in the Zhuotian world. You don't have to worry about that. Our organization currently has more than 100 people in charge of refining pills. Some of them are in charge of purchasing materials. Every year, we can refine hundreds of thousands of yang strengthening pills of different grades. Currently, We have hundreds of thousands of pills in reserve. It's enough to sell in a short time. The organization also knows that the yang strengthening pills market hasn't been opened yet. In the next few years, we will speed up the process. The main reason is that the yang strengthening pills recipe was only recently developed. We can only refine it in a short time. Hundreds of thousands of pills are enough to sell in the Zhuotian world. Our sect has hundreds of branches in several large worlds and some small territories. However, once the yang strengthening pills market is opened, we will need a large amount of pills. For example, the pure yuan strengthening pills market can sell 10 billion a year. 10 billion? The Demon King Supreme didn't show any reaction when the old man said this number. However, Su Feng was different. With his current ability, he could only refine about 1 million pure origin dawn in a year if he asked his servants to refine the dawn. In other words, not only did he have to purchase materials in large quantities, he also had to suppress more servants. Moreover, he needed experts, preferably imperishable realm experts. Next, the President, Demon King Supreme, and King Leech discussed the price and the details of the cooperation in detail. The Celestial Sealing Sect had a great advantage. The Celestial Sealing Sect had a lot of requirements. For example, the Yang Strengthening Pill had to be delivered to the Chamber of Commerce in advance, so that the Chamber of Commerce could arrange for the following sales. If it wasn't delivered in time, a certain amount of loss would be deducted from the price. Alternatively, the Yang Strengthening Pill could only be sold in the Celestial Sealing Sect. If they cooperated with another Chamber of Commerce, the Celestial Sealing Sect had the right to seize all the Yang Strengthening Pills and forbid them to appear in their territory. In short, the Celestial Sealing Sect could do whatever they wanted. In the end, another expert showed up. It wasn't an old man, but a middle-aged man. This person's cultivation level was even higher than the president's. He had reached the 8th layer of the Yang nascent realm. This was a true powerhouse. When he used a divine ability, he could easily destroy the Yuan city. This person introduced himself. His name was Reverend Feng Yuan. He said he was an elder of the Celestial Sealing Sect and also one of the rulers of the Yuan city. He is indeed an elder, but a junior elder. He doesn't have the qualifications to know about this king's existence. When he approached the place where this king was sealed, this king could sense his qi. Therefore, this king has seen him before. Since he was an elder, King Qing Yu must know. King Qing Yu indeed knew. He also said that this person was a junior elder. His position in the Celestial Sealing Sect was higher than Yin Saifeng's. He was indeed a true high-level expert. Since you've decided to cooperate with my Chamber of Commerce, I hope you can fulfill all the details we discussed. Otherwise, I won't be able to answer to the sect. This batch of several 100,000 pills will be a trial sale. If it sells well, we'll give you a portion of the profits. But if it doesn't sell well, we'll take the initiative to end the cooperation. I hope the two of you and your organizations can understand. Reverend Feng Yuan spoke in front of King Leech and the Supreme Demon King. He didn't act as courteously as the previous elder. After all, his cultivation level was at the 8th layer of the Yang nascent realm. The Supreme Demon King was only at the 3rd layer of the Yang nascent realm. He naturally couldn't compare to him. Su Feng wasn't too worried. He believed that the Celestial Sealing Sect wouldn't swallow these pills just because they didn't sell well. Large sects naturally valued the Chamber of Commerce. The Yang nascent realm pills could bring them benefits. That was what they needed. After talking for half a day, they finally decided to cooperate. After the three of them left, in the Chamber of Commerce's highest level, Reverend Feng Yuan and several Yang nascent realm experts were using divine abilities to look down on the three of them. Send people to the Spirit Sect's ruins to investigate the details of their cooperation with the Supreme God Sect. The more detailed, the better. It'd be best if we could find out if they have a powerful background, ordered Reverend Feng Yuan. One of the experts next to him asked, Elder, according to the information we obtained in the Heavenly Gourd realm, the Yang nascent realm pills caused a huge reaction back then. Are you worried that they won't sell well? Reverend Feng Yuan, turn around. This is business. We can't let them get whatever they want. This is the Celestial Sealing Sect, so the Yang nascent realm pills have to be firmly in our hands. That devil and Yao are both quite strong. Let's see what kind of background they have. When the time comes, we'll be able to get more benefits. We have to take the initiative. Chapter 258. After leaving the immortal bestowment chamber of commerce, the three of them strolled around for a bit before Su Fong split up. He changed his appearance and went to the Ziwei Star Sect's chamber of commerce. Do you need a pill cauldron? Su Fong went to the highest level of the chamber and told a Ziwei Star Sect disciple his reason for coming. There are quite a few pill cauldrons. The disciple brought Su Fong to another counter. There were low-grade to high-grade pill cauldrons sealed inside. Some were a foot long, while others were a meter tall. They were all shaped like cauldrons, but the details were different. The colors were mainly black, red, and bronze. After asking about the price, Su Fong pointed at a high-grade pill cauldron. How much is this cauldron? Su Fong remembered the price of the 3-yang cauldron. It was a mid-grade pill cauldron that cost 1,000,000 pure, undying essence pills. He didn't know how much this high-grade pill cauldron cost. High-grade pill cauldrons are rare treasures. They're about the same as king-grade enchanted artifacts. This pill cauldron is also 100 times more expensive than a mid-grade pill cauldron. This cauldron costs 50,000,000 pure, undying essence pills. The disciple extended his right hand. His voice wasn't loud. He subconsciously thought that those who could afford a high-grade pill cauldron were all Yang soul experts. 50,000,000 pure, undying essence pills. Even a majority of undying 10th level experts couldn't take out that many pure, undying essence pills. The only exception was a peerless genius from a large power. For example, Xueqing. That's too expensive. Su Fong was startled. It wasn't that he didn't have money, but this pill cauldron was equivalent to all the wealth of an undying cultivator. The disciple shook his head. The better the pill cauldron, the higher the price. King-grade cauldrons are priceless treasures. Ordinary Yang soul experts can't afford them. If you really want one, I can ask how much I can give you. Many thanks. Su Fong was just waiting for the other party to give him a discount. It wasn't that he couldn't afford it, but with his current status, he had to be careful. Creak. While waiting, Su Fong's body suddenly began to stir. What's up with the human blood goo? So, it was the human blood goo. In order to advance to the immortal stage 3, Su Fong used the human blood goo to absorb the immortal blood. His body had been in the state of absorbing the immortal blood from the human blood goo. However, now that the human blood goo was moving, Su Fong slowly turned around in surprise. Suddenly, he froze. An old man was walking towards him. Gu King Valley's Gu Immortal. To Su Fong's disbelief, Gu Immortal seemed to have noticed him. He quickened his pace, and his deep gaze was filled with bewilderment. Green Feather King's voice came from profound yellow space. Kid, that Gu Venerable recognized you. I changed my appearance. How could he recognize me? Su Fong couldn't figure it out. Because of your human blood goo. You forgot that the human blood goo you have was cultivated in the Gu King Valley since it was young. Gu Immortal will definitely be able to sense its aura. The human blood goo in the Gu King Valley is a rare treasure, and there are very few of them. Gu Immortal will definitely be able to guess your identity. My preparations were not flawless. He sucked in a breath of cold air. Fortunately, Gu Immortal was not an enemy. Thinking of this, Su Fong took the initiative to greet Gu Immortal, Senior. Interesting. Why did you change your appearance? This is the Yuan City, Immortal Sealing Sex territory. Gu Immortal completely treated Su Fong as Fong Yu. He knew who he was. Fortunately, he didn't know that Su Fong was doing business with Immortal Sealing Sect. Junior came to buy some resources. I didn't want to attract trouble, so I changed my appearance. Su Fong explained, then asked, Senior, why are you here? Gu Immortal said, I had nothing to do, so I came to look at the sales of goo worms. I didn't expect to meet you here. I heard Qin Feng and the others mention your matter several times. You are now first on Immortal Board. Congratulations, you have become a genius of Immortal Sealing Sect. It turned out that Gu King Valley's disciples were also secretly learning about his situation. Sir, I have obtained the price for you. At this time, that Ziwei Star Sect's disciple returned to the counter. Su Fong and Gu Immortal came to the counter. The man said, 50 million undying pure essence pills. I can only give you 1 million less. 1 million. There wasn't much room for this price. Su Fong looked over. Can I trouble you to fight for me again? Just say I want several high-grade pill cauldrons. The better the price, the more I want. At the very least, I want more than one cauldron. Is that so? Then give me a price so I can fight for it in front of the higher-ups. The man was startled. He didn't want one cauldron, but several high-grade pill cauldrons. That was something only young, nascent realm experts could afford. Su Fong wasn't in a rush. 3. If the price is high enough, I want not only 3 high-grade pill cauldrons, but also several middle-grade pill cauldrons. Wait here. The man turned and left. I didn't expect you to have so many resources to buy several high-grade pill cauldrons. Gu King Valley doesn't have many pill cauldrons. Gu Immortal finally spoke. He couldn't help feeling even more curious about Su Fong. Su Fong shook his head and said self-mockingly, Junior is only following his senior's orders. How can I take out 50 million undying pure essence pills? At this time, 3 Ziwei Star Sect disciples came out. One of them was at the young nascent realm. He looked at Su Fong and then at Gu Immortal. He was quite shocked. One of them was at the longevity realm, while the other had an unfathomable cultivation base, but he could actually buy a large number of pill cauldrons. Normally, only factions would buy such a large number of pill cauldrons. The young nascent soul expert was also an old man. After pondering for a moment, he looked at Su Fong. If you really want a high-grade pill cauldron, I'll give you a discount of 3 million. If you buy 3 cauldrons, I'll give you a discount of 4 million per cauldron. If you calculate it this way, 3 high-grade pill cauldrons will actually save you 12 million undying pure essence pills. This is an astonishing amount. Then what about these middle-grade pill cauldrons? Su Fong seemed satisfied with this price. He pointed at the other pill cauldrons on the counter. Middle-grade pill cauldrons are usually measured by undying pure essence pills. The majority of them are over 1 million. If you want a few, I can give you 800,000 undying pure essence pills for each one. That's too expensive. I've already bought 3 high-grade pill cauldrons from you. Shouldn't you also give me a big discount for these middle-grade pill cauldrons? 100,000 or 200,000 isn't much. Give me a price. 500,000 undying pure essence pills. 500,000. Once this price was announced, Ziwei Star Sect's young nascent soul realm powerhouse was clearly shocked. Even Venerable Gu, who was standing beside Su Fong, was very surprised. It was exactly half the market price of a middle-grade pill cauldron. If they sold it at such a price, the Ziwei Star Sect wouldn't be able to make any profit. But this was based on high-grade pill cauldrons. Su Fong had spent an astronomical price to buy 3 high-grade pill cauldrons. If he used the 12 million undying pure essence pills to buy middle-grade pill cauldrons, he would be able to buy quite a few. I won't haggle over the price of a middle-grade pill cauldron. Please come in and complete the transaction. In the end, the Ziwei Star Sect's expert agreed. Su Fong and Gu Immortal entered the inner space. Su Fong had bought 3 high-grade pill cauldrons and 10 middle-grade pill cauldrons. Calculating the price, it was an astonishing figure even for a young, nascent realm expert. The Ziwei Star Sect's expert had brought 13 pill cauldrons. He was waiting to see if Su Fong could take out such a shocking amount of undying pure essence pills. Gu Immortal was also looking forward to it. Ever since he had met Su Fong, he had never seen through Su Fong. Even now, he was still hiding his identity mysteriously. With a wave of his hand, empty bags appeared in his palm. He secretly used the Heavenly Demon Disintegration Seal and sorted out all the pure Yuan pills in the large number of empty bags he had obtained in Wet Forest Valley. The amount of pills he had was enough to buy 2 superior-grade elixir cauldrons. The amount is just right. The young nascent realm expert counted every empty pouch. The shock and doubt in his eyes finally disappeared at this moment. Following his nod, the person beside him placed the 13 pill cauldrons into the empty pouches and carefully handed them to Su Fong. With so many pill cauldrons and so many undying pure essence pills, Neither side could be the slightest bit careless. In the end, both sides felt there was no problem and the transaction was completed. Su Fong hadn't wasted his money, and Ziwei Star Sect had also sold so many pill cauldrons. Junior still has some matters to attend to, so I'll take my leave. Outside Ziwei Star Sect Chamber of Commerce, Su Fong headed towards Gu Immortal's faction. If you have nothing to do, come visit Gu King Valley. Your human blood Gu can also nurture other abilities. Gu Immortal could see that Su Fong was deliberately avoiding him. Everyone had their own secrets. Gu Immortal smiled and waved at Su Fong. When they arrived at another street, Su Fong changed his appearance again. After searching for a while, he met up with Demon King Shangzuan and Leech King. He gave the pill cauldrons to Leech King Shangzuan and told him to take them back to the meteorite so that the immortal realm experts among his servants could fuse with them. The two of them walked down the street, looking for the next Chamber of Commerce. Demon King Shangzuan said, "With our manpower, refining hundreds of thousands of immortal pills a year is very difficult, especially high-grade pill cauldrons. We need people with peak immortal realm strength to refine a large amount of immortal pills. Our faction really does lack immortal realm experts. We need to find a way to suppress them." Su Fong felt that his future path would only get wider and wider. Even servants like Demon King Shangzuan were thinking for him. Thinking about it, he said with an evil aura, "There are many chambers of commerce here. Let's see if there are any missions. We can use the missions to suppress some experts. That's the best method." As a member of the demonic path, Demon King Shangzuan was most proficient in this kind of thing. Seeing Su Fong's evil aura, he felt that Su Fong was not a member of the righteous path. Most of the righteous path's people were lofty and righteous. They all hid their evil side. Heavenly Gu Mountain Chamber of Commerce. Suddenly stopping in front of Chamber of Commerce, Su Fong remembered that he had heard of Heavenly Gu Mountain in the Heavenly Gore domain. Heavenly Gu Mountain was a large force in the Zhua Tian domain. It had very few disciples, but each of them was a genius. When they arrived at the Chamber of Commerce, the two walked around and took out several kinds of materials for refining immortal pills. They bought all the materials that Heavenly Gu Mountain had. Next, Su Fong went to the chambers of commerce established by Immortal Pair Sect, Broken Sword Sect, and Zun Pavilion. Each chamber of commerce bought several kinds of materials. In the Xiannu Chamber of Commerce, Su Fong even wanted to meet Xiao Mei-er. But how could that be possible? After a few days, Su Fong and Demon King Shangzuan finally found all the materials. This time, they spent an astonishing amount of wealth. Su Fong sorted out all the resources he had on him. He took out all the resources below the immortality realm, such as magic treasures, secret manuals, spiritual items, and spirit stones to exchange for pure yuan pills. All the resources he had were treasures above the immortality realm. From the ruins of the spirit sect to the spirit gore domain, Su Fong obtained many different kinds of treasures. Previously, he sorted out the treasures he obtained in the Wet Forest Valley in the mysterious yellow space. This time, he also sorted out the other resources. Meteorite Field, Demon King Shangzuan, I've thought about it. You're still in charge of suppressing the strong. Don't suppress the innocent cultivators, especially those wanted by the various chambers of commerce. Suppress as many of them as you can. Returning to the secret underground cave. For the sake of cultivation, Su Fong assigned everything to his subordinates. Chapter 259. Demon King Shangzuan took the order and left. In the main hall, there were 15 pill cauldrons around the spiritual pool. More than a dozen imperishable realm servants were leading some servants to refine pills. The imperishable realm servants were in charge of grinding the pills and controlling the true fire. The imperishable realm servants were in charge of the entire process. Most of the remaining servants were cultivating and waiting for orders. True fire was burning in the cave at all times. Flame chi, spirit chi, and medicinal fragrance were floating in the cave. The 13 new pill cauldrons played a big role this time, especially the 3 upper-grade pill cauldrons. They could refine immortal aphrodisiac pills. If a middle-grade magic artifact like the three-yang cauldron was used, it could also refine immortal aphrodisiac pills. However, it would consume a lot of resources and waste a lot of materials. Not only could upper-grade pill cauldrons refine pills, but they also contained amazing power. Their hardness alone could shatter middle-grade magic artifacts. The biggest difference between upper-grade pill cauldrons was the speed of refining pills. They were 10 times more expensive than middle-grade pill cauldrons, so they were 100 times more expensive. Wanmo was in charge of refining pills in the secret cave. Leech King and the other 5 commanders were cultivating in Bound of Yellow. Su Fong observed for a while. The servants were already proficient in refining pills, so he didn't need to worry about it. He focused on his own cultivation. Because he had consumed 500 years of his lifespan, his cultivation speed had completely slowed down. He could only absorb the chi of life from the dragon-taming wood and combine it with other spiritual items. Among the spiritual items, the flower of immortality was the one that could increase one's strength quickly. Su Fong had more than a dozen flowers of immortality. 3 of them were at the Yang Nascent Realm. He gave them to Green Feather King, Wanmo, and Leech King. The rest were at the imperishable and immortal realm. In order to break through to the immortal realm and recover part of his life force, Su Fong decided to use the flower of immortality. He took out 1 flower. It was indeed an amazing spiritual item formed by the combination of the essence of an immortal cultivator's corpse and nature. The petals contained amazing energy, spiritual power, and life essence. Some blood-like red lines could be seen. Su Fong opened his mouth and inhaled. The flower of immortality spun and entered his body. Unlike pure spirit pills, the flower of immortality didn't melt in his mouth. Instead, it melted slowly. One had to activate spiritual power to extract the power inside the flower of immortality. During this process, the flower of immortality would slowly wither until it turned into dust and fused into the body. The countless meridians and blood essences within his body began to burn. At this moment, Su Fong once again felt a boundless vitality. The 2 yang meridians contained an astonishing amount of yang energy. He did not have to worry about energy at all times. The only thing he lacked now was vitality. About 3 months later, the power of the flower of immortality was finally absorbed by the Su Fong. Together with the yang qi in his body and the power of the dragon-taming wood, his vitality reached its peak. Fig. He was still a little short before he could reach the fullness and break through to the longevity stage 3. Spiritual items, he still needed spiritual items. After swallowing an undying flower, Su Fong took out a spirit fruit the size of a child's fist. Figs were fruits that grew naturally on spirit trees. It was said that these fruits would not blossom and would take 10,000 years to grow and bear fruit. Once the fruit ripened, it would automatically fall to the ground. After falling to the ground, it would rot within half a day. In fact, the essence of the figs had been absorbed by the earth, so these figs were very rare, especially wild figs. They were almost impossible to obtain. Figs were mostly cultivated by large factions or clans. It was similar to Gu King's Valley, which specialized in cultivating gu worms. Green Feather Monarch had told Su Fong that wild figs needed 10,000 years to ripen. However, figs cultivated by humans only needed 1,000 years to ripen. That was because humans used all kinds of spirit water to cultivate them, as well as all kinds of formations. After swallowing the figs, a green taste spread out. Su Fong used the 100 acupoints finger art. At the same time, he no longer sealed the 2 yang meridians and released the energy of the purple chi law spirit. The energy of the 3 spaces surged out. Under the urging of the 100 acupoints finger art, all the energy began to attack his body. At the same time, he also urged the profound magic ring and the magic power in his divine aperture. In Su Fong's eyes, the sea of magic power was like a world of clouds and mist. It was also like a silver world of stars. The divine aperture itself was like a world, and magic power enriched the world as if it was nurturing life. The combination of spiritual power and magic power crashed down on Su Fong's body. Bursts of explosions could be heard from Su Fong's body. Some impurities seeped out from his pores. The servants who were refining pills in the main hall could hear the shocking movements coming from Su Fong's body. At this moment, Su Fong looked like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. Little did they know that he had 13 fire crystal stone golems protecting his body, as well as 6 senior and junior commanders. He also had all kinds of magic treasures. Once someone tried to sneak attack him, they would not succeed. The 13 fire crystal stone golems were placed in the purple Qi Law spirit. They absorbed Su Fong's energy together with the fire god elephant. They also absorbed the natural energy in Su Fong's body. Originally, he could let the fire crystal stone golems enter the fire cloud spirit gourd and cultivate in the mysterious yellow space's spirit pool. However, Su Fong still needed the energy to protect his body. The 13 fire crystal stone golems could be used to protect his body, and he could also use the 8 origin spirit elephant formation. Day after day, another few months passed. Master, a figure flew into the secret cave. It was Demon King Shangzuan. He knelt down in front of Su Fong, and when he saw Su Fong open his eyes, he immediately reported, "This time, I went out to suppress 10 imperishable realm cultivators. Most of them were lying in ambush around a Yuan city, killing cultivators and robbing people. All of their hands are covered in blood. Let them out," Su Fong said coldly. Whoosh! Demon King Shangzuan waved his hand. 10 figures flew out from his palm. They instantly revealed their true bodies and landed on the ground. They were indeed immortal realm cultivators. Their auras were completely different. Where is this? Seeing this strange environment, the 10 people released their auras uneasily. They were about to fly away at any time. Demon King Shangzuan suddenly unleashed Thunder's fury. A devil's seal shot out, and the 10 immortal realm cultivators sat on the ground. They hugged their heads and cried. From the indestructible 3rd layer to the indestructible 8th layer, Devil King Shangzuan, you've done well. Go and capture more, the more the better. Su Fong issued another decree. Devil King Shangzuan stood up and saluted with a happy expression. The more satisfied he was with Su Fong, the faster he could obtain the true devil blood. He wanted to become the supreme, true demon he dreamed of, especially when Luan Mo, whose cultivation was lower than his, became a true demon. He didn't feel good about it. True demon seal planted. Su Fong activated a large amount of devil light. The mysterious power from the true demon blood plate turned into 10 black smoke and entered the 10 immortal realm cultivators who were struggling in pain. It could be seen that these immortal realm cultivators were all ruthless people. Even if they were suppressed, they were still unwilling to accept the devil seal in their minds. If you don't behave, then I'll make you wish you were dead. It just so happens that I need immortal blood for others to cultivate and break through to the immortal realm. After planting the true demon seal, the 10 immortal realm cultivators were tenaciously resisting the power of the devil seal. They didn't want to be controlled by Su Fong. Su Fong took out the human blood goo and activated the devil seal. In an instant, the 10 immortal realm cultivators were in so much pain that they clawed at the ground. Their nails were broken, and their pupils were constantly dilating. But they still clenched their teeth and refused to submit to Su Fong. A devil light controlled the 10 of them. The human blood goo flew up, and under Su Fong's devil seal, it extracted essence blood from the 10 immortal realm cultivators. The human blood goo greedily devoured the essence blood. At a certain point, Su Fong had the 10 immortal realm cultivators come to the main hall and gave them the human blood goo to cultivate. When the immortal realm cultivators saw the human blood goo and wanted to absorb the immortal blood, they all prostrated themselves before Su Fong. Master, Luan Mo, came to the main hall. He was wearing a black robe and looked like a normal human. Su Fong didn't have time to waste on these people. Luan Mo, these people won't submit to me. Use the true demon's power to make them behave. If they don't behave, absorb them into your body and torture them for eternity. If they die in the end, they'll be given to you for cultivation. Yes, master. After Luan Demon bowed, his face began to creak strangely. Fangs grew out of his mouth, and his ears began to straighten. They grew bigger and sharper, and long hair grew out of his ears. True demon. The legendary true demon. The 10 immortal realm cultivators were about to submit to Su Fong. They couldn't endure the pain for a long time. Now that they saw Su Fong's Luan Mo transform into the legendary true demon, they were all scared witless. The true demon was a carnivore. It was bloodthirsty and would eat them alive. We submit, master. The 10 of them finally knelt in front of Su Fong, calling him master. I won't let you off so easily. It's too late. In the next month, you'll be in Luan Mo's hands and have a taste of the true demon's torture. After that, you'll learn alchemy from Luan Mo. Su Fong no longer looked at them. Why aren't you coming in? Luan Mo, who had transformed into a true demon, was no longer human. He was like a bloodthirsty bat that could eat people alive at any moment. He directly sucked them into his stomach. Those 10 experts' eyes were filled with regret. If they had submitted to Su Fong, they wouldn't have had to suffer another month of torture. In truth, Su Fong also hoped that they could immediately refine pills. But if they weren't obedient, they wouldn't be obedient even if they refined pills. After another period of time, Su Fong, who had been continuously using the 100 acupoints finger art for half a year, released a shocking amount of tribulation chi. His eyes shone with pleasant surprise, and he finally undid the seal. Bang! Shocking energy erupted from his body. His energy was divided into 3 layers. That meant he had gone from the second heaven stage to the third. The impurities crazily poured out. He hastily used the 100 acupoints finger art to control his advancement power. He attacked his 2 yang meridians, his violet chi magic spirit, and finally his divine aperture. Undying flower, fig. This required spiritual energy as well as life energy. Su Fong was already absorbing the dragon-subduing wood's energy. He was also completely igniting the undying flower and fig's spiritual energy. Su Fong no longer controlled his life energy or the bone-shifting art. Gradually, his appearance changed from that of a 20-year-old to that of a 25-year-old. Without using any energy, his age remained around that age. Su Fong observed him and muttered inside, I really can't figure it out. Breaking through to the 3rd heaven stage seems to have only recovered a portion of my lifespan. 500 years isn't the same as the 100 years you used back then. Back then, when you broke through, you only needed 100 years to recover. But now it's 500 years. If you want to fully recover, you'll have to reach the 5th heaven stage, be rated the Green Feather King. In the future, he couldn't easily use up his lifespan. Not only would it be difficult to recover, but it would also have an indescribable impact on his cultivation. After a long time, the advancement finally ended. Su Fong felt like he was in his peak state. His strength had doubled. If he fought with the Qing dynasty's prince again, it would no longer be a miserable victory. It would be an overwhelming victory. In just a dozen exchanges, he would be able to defeat the Qing dynasty's prince. Chapter 260. From the 3rd layer onwards, Su Fong was unrivaled in the immortal realm. Even Zhao Wuji, who used to be number 1 on the mortal ranking, was no match for him. As long as he completed the next mission, he would be able to cultivate in the high immortal heaven, which was another step closer to becoming a higher-up in the immortal ceiling sect. Immortal flower. In order to reach the 3rd layer as soon as possible, Su Fong didn't hesitate to swallow a lot of pure longevity origin pills and an immortal flower. His current cultivation required a lot of resources, especially the immortal flower. Even in the immortal ceiling sect, there weren't many disciples who had such resources. Others relied on their sects, but he relied on his own resources. After consuming the flower of immortality, in addition to his own yang qi, the dragon-taming wood, and his physical body had reached the perfection stage, the energy in his body had increased at an astonishing rate. After entering the 3rd layer, His meridians had expanded, and his physical body had become more profound. His two yang meridians had also become more profound, so the energy he needed was several times more than before. Even if he had advantages in all aspects, and Su Fang's cultivation was several times faster than others, he still needed to bear more than 10 times more energy than others. Overall, his cultivation advantage wasn't that obvious compared to other cultivators. Master. Half a year later, Demon King Supreme returned. He waved his hand and released a seal. 17 immortal experts appeared at the same time. Kneel before Master, Demon King Supreme shouted. It was obvious that these people had been beaten up badly by him. They were so frightened that they hurriedly knelt before Su Fang. He was a young nascent realm cultivator, so these immortal realm cultivators were naturally afraid of him. True, Devil Seal. Su Fang first used the Devil Seal seed to plant in these experts' minds, then swept his gaze over them. Since you've fallen into my hands, you'll be my slaves from now on. Be obedient and do whatever I tell you to do. If you don't, I don't mind using you as food to feed the big goblin. No one thought that Su Fang's words were comparable to Demon King Supreme's, because they could see that Su Fang was the immortal realm cultivator. Su Fang didn't hide his aura. With a wave of his hand, Wan Mo came to Su Fang's side. Wan Mo, I'll leave these people to you. Don't worry, Master. The first 10 have already been tamed, so these 17 won't be a problem. Wan Mo smiled proudly. He suddenly raised his hand and sucked the 17 people into his palm before disappearing in a flash. The High Venerable Demon said, Master, do I still need to capture the immortal realm cultivator? You will continue to capture people. On the other hand, secretly go to the immortal bestowment chamber of commerce to inquire about the sales of the aphrodisiac pill. Most of the ordinary immortal sect disciples relied on other channels to obtain ordinary high-grade magic tools. The two magic treasures floated above Su Fang's head, absorbing his spirit energy. Su Fang, in turn, absorbed the spirit inscriptions of the two magic treasures, achieving a fusion. As he waved his hands, some of the sword chi turned into flames, and some of the strange, twisted spirit inscriptions turned into beautiful scrolls. Buzz. This cultivation session lasted for a year, focusing on fusing the two magic treasures and refining the three materials. Su Fang's mind suddenly buzzed. It was an imprint. Master, this subordinate is being hunted down. A supreme Devil King's voice came from the imprint. Don't be in a rush. Don't enter the meteorite plains. Who would have thought that a young, nascent realm powerhouse would be hunted down? Su Fangdao was shocked. The Supreme Devil King was a third-stage young, nascent realm powerhouse. If he was being hunted down, then the other party might be a fourth or fifth-stage young, nascent realm powerhouse. If it was a fourth-stage young, nascent realm powerhouse, then the Supreme Devil King would not be his match, but he could still escape. After ordering Wan Mo to guard the cave, Su Fang arrived above the meteorite in a flash. He changed his appearance and used his flaming cloud wings to fly into the sky. This subordinate bought some materials into Yuan City a while ago, then left to suppress immortal cultivators near to Yuan City. Among them, I suppressed a 10th-stage immortal cultivator who was about to undergo tribulation. Who would have thought that there was a powerful young, nascent realm powerhouse behind him? He caught this subordinate's aura and is chasing after the subordinate. An hour later, he flew out of the meteorite. He was in between the true art sacred sect and the majestic plateau, communicating with the Supreme Devil King. What's the cultivation of the person chasing after you? Su Fang asked again. I'm afraid it's a 6th-stage young nascent realm powerhouse. If it was someone stronger, then this subordinate would have been caught by him. Find a natural stronghold, then I'll come to find you. After knowing the general situation, Su Fang flew towards the plateau. After passing through a large number of forests, about a few hours later, they arrived at the primeval forest world. After entering a cloud forest, a black shadow appeared from the clouds. It was the Supreme Devil King, who had turned pale with fright. Once he saw Su Fang, he saw his savior. Master, that powerhouse is searching for this subordinate's aura in the forest. He won't find this subordinate's exact location soon. It's easy to shake him off. Once you enter the true devil blood plate, he won't be able to find your aura. However, if you disappear, he will suspect me. So, let's go deeper into the forest first. Su Fong had a plan. With two swoosh sounds, the two of them went deeper into the forest. After half an incense stick's worth of time, a figure indeed came here. After pausing for a second, he went deeper into the forest. This place is not bad. Xianhuang 6 Paths Pagoda. In a forest dozens of miles deep, Su Fong and the Supreme Devil King appeared. They immediately activated a seal and entered the Xianhuang 6 Paths Pagoda. The 6 Paths Pagoda flew into the trunk of a big tree and hid perfectly. This was the peerless ability of a king grade artifact. Master, this subordinate has suppressed 12 undying slaves. It's this guy who caused trouble. Profound yellow space. The two of them came in front of Green Feather King. The Supreme Devil King activated a devil seal, and 12 undying realm cultivators flew out. Among them was a young man in black robes. This black-robed young man didn't look timid at all. Even though he was shackled by the devil aura, he still stood straight. Su Fong felt an obvious noble aura from this person. The Supreme Devil King saw that Su Fong also noticed something. Master, this brat seems to be a young master from a big clan. He has a powerful guard. Su Fong also agreed. The other suppressed, undying realm cultivators were very uneasy. Only this young man was calm and composed. From the looks of it, it seemed that the expert would be able to find him very quickly, as if he had nothing to fear. Su Fong sucked the other 11 into the true devil blood plate. Then he sat down and examined this young man. He was only in his early 20s. He seemed to be at the 10th undying realm, but he was still very strong. If this kind of person was in the immortal sealing sect, he would be on the same level as Xueqing. The young man also sized up Su Fong. Then he suddenly said, "You're not simple. You can suppress a young nascent realm cultivator and make him your slave." Su Fong didn't think much of it. "You're also very interesting. Now I've poked a hornet's nest. Do you think that expert behind you can find this place? Let me tell you, it's impossible. You'll be suppressed here and become my slave in the future. You can suppress me for a lifetime. Unless you kill me and destroy my corpse, you'll attract a lot of trouble. Also, the reason I don't care about this place is because the expert looking for you isn't the expert behind me. He's an expert who's chasing after me. You've just unintentionally helped him by bringing me here. That person won't be able to find my whereabouts." Su Fong and Devil King Shangzuan's jaws dropped. They hadn't expected there to be such an inside story. Devil King Shangzuan looked at Su Fong, feeling embarrassed. He was the one who had caused this trouble. Blue Feather King suddenly transmitted, "Brat, this brat isn't from a Zhuotian world." Oh, Su Fong was incomparably shocked. This young cultivator wasn't from the Zhuotian world. He was an undying realm expert who had come to the Zhuotian world. This king can sense a bit of the Zhuotian world's aura from this brat's aura. The majority of it doesn't belong to this place. His aura also has a bit of Star's aura. It seems he just arrived in the Zhuotian world. Who cares which small world he comes from? Since I've suppressed him, he'll be a slave here. Don't you think it's strange for a young, nascent realm expert to chase after a 10th level undying realm expert? I also suspect that. But right now, the most important thing is to deal with that expert outside. He'll probably be searching nearby. We can only hide here for now. Cultivators from other worlds all have backgrounds. You better not cause any trouble. First, find out where he's from. If he's someone with a background, release him. In any case, he doesn't know where you're from. That way, you won't have to offend the power behind him. All right. Blue Feather King had lived for over 10,000 years. He naturally knew a lot. After giving Su Fong an idea, he closed his eyes and remained motionless. Chapter 261. Green Feather King's suggestion enlightened Su Fong. This youth's cultivation was not bad, but it was not comparable to the young infant realm. It seemed like he had a great background. If he really offended him, it would indeed be troublesome in the future. Master. At this moment, Mysterious Yellow's origin spirit flashed over. What did you find? Su Fong immediately asked. When a youth beside him saw Mysterious Yellow's origin spirit, he also pricked up his ears. He clearly knew that Mysterious Yellow was a king-grade artifact and could sense outside movements. The origin spirit said, "There is indeed an expert at the 7th layer of the young infant realm. He is currently sensing with a large number of servants, searching for Master's whereabouts. Master, don't worry. He can't sense Mysterious Yellow's aura." Demon King Shangzuan was extremely nervous. 7th layer of the young infant realm. Master, the opponent is too strong. If I really fight with him, I'm afraid I won't be his match in one move. You are still in the young infant realm. What are you afraid of? Don't you have your master's king-grade artifact? I know that expert's background. Without a good king-grade artifact, he won't be able to sense this artifact. The youth glanced at Demon King Shangzuan. He was really not worried. Courting death. Demon King Shangzuan's great thunder. Su Fong promptly gestured for him to rest first. Then, he looked at the youth and said indifferently, "I'll let you go now." No, no, no. The youth could not sit still and panicked. He smiled and waved at Su Fong. "If you let me go now, where else can I run to? Mo Fengjun will immediately capture me. If I fall into his hands, I will suffer a fate worse than death." Mo Fengjun. His eyelids twitched. "If you tell me the inside story, I will consider whether to let you go or not. After all, there is such an expert watching outside, and my life is also threatened. If you promise to help me, I will tell you. How can I help you? First, don't let me go. If you let me go, it will be equivalent to handing me over to Mo Fengjun. This way, I will end up in a miserable state. Mo Fengjun will also not let you go. He will kill you to silence you, because he won't let anyone know anything about me. Is that so? I feel like I'm sitting on pins and needles now. Tell me the inside story." Su Fong seemed to be in a hurry to release the young man, but in fact, he did it on purpose to find out what was going on with them. He couldn't keep hiding in the heaven-earth space like this. If a young soul realm giant wanted to search for someone here, it would probably take several decades. He couldn't afford to delay. That Mo Fengjun is the son of another elder in my clan and is secretly groomed as a guest. He has always wanted to deal with my father, who is also an elder. Actually, I didn't know that the other party would send someone to kill me. When I arrived at the Jua Heaven Realm, just as I left the shuttle mystic door, news immediately came from within my clan. They secretly intercepted a piece of information and said that when I went out to train this time, someone would try to harm me. In the end, that Mo Fengjun was like a cornered dog jumping over a wall and anxiously made a move on me. I had the life-saving instant teleportation talisman left behind by my father and escaped from his killing move to the Crimson Firmament continent. However, this person had the aura of my clan and was ultimately tracked to this place. Who would have thought that he would hide in a Yuan city? Just as I left and wanted to shake him off, I instead fell into the hands of the servant you groomed. Good clan. Green Feather King suddenly transmitted a message. How familiar. This king remembers the Ku clan of the Qilian Star. That is a famous mining clan. It seems like they have a great background. Senior, you know about the Ku clan of the Qilian Star? Of course I know, because Qilian Star is very close to the Jua Heaven Realm. This king has been there twice and has a rough understanding of the overall situation of Qilian Star. Qilian Star has a large clan, and it is also an ancient clan. It is the Gu clan that this brat is from. It is a mining clan. What is a mining clan? It is a clan that controls mining veins, opens all kinds of mines, and creates spirit stones and gems. This Gu clan controls a few of the largest ancient mining veins on Qilian Star. There are countless spirit stones and gems inside, and there are also some natural spirit veins, such as earth-type spirit stones. The Gu clan provides large amounts of ore veins and ores to the small worlds around Qilian Star all year round. They are an incomparably rich clan, and their foundation even surpasses the immortal Sealing sect. Is that so? then doesn't that mean they are stronger than the immortal sealing sect? You can't compare them like that. In terms of foundation, the Good Clan controls a large amount of, or veins, but in terms of cultivation, they cannot compare to the immortal sealing sect. The immortal sealing sect has as many experts as trees in the forest. How can the Good Clan compare to them? Furthermore, the Good Clan has a cooperative relationship with many merchant guilds and large powers. They have formed an alliance with those powers. A chance to get rich? Think about it. This is the son of an elder of the Good Clan. If you save him and let him wait for his clansmen to rescue him, wouldn't the Good Clan repay you? At that time, you could buy a few high-grade pill cauldrons as thanks. So rich. Su Fong heard that. A few high-grade pill cauldrons? Was this a joke? The Good Clan is one of the 3 great or clans. Do you know what that means? It means they have money, and money means they can do whatever they want. For example, if you sell your impotence pills to another world, they'll sell like pure yuan pills. Then you'll become a tycoon. Green Feather King was all smiles. He seemed to be scheming against the Good Clan's young master. All right, that's a good business. Perhaps I'll be able to buy yuan jades, profound yellow stones, and some precious gems from the Good Clan in the future. So this time, he hadn't run into a disaster. Instead, he had run into a great fortune. Su Fong took the initiative to say, Mo Fong Jun is practically a fly. I hate petty people like him the most. Furthermore, you're also a god of plague. I have to send you away. Only then can I escape. I don't like flies buzzing around my ears all day. The youth smiled. As long as you don't hand me over to Mo Fong Jun, the experts my father sent should have already come to the Yuan City. Killing Mo Fong Jun won't be difficult. The main thing is that my aura is currently sealed in a king-grade dermic item. Even my clan's experts won't be able to find me. Don't you think we should let my clan's experts sense my existence? Su Fong thought for a moment. I'm not stupid. Once your clan's experts sense this place, Mo Fong Jun will also sense it. Then we'll be in danger. You have a king-grade dermic item. Do you think Mo Fong Jun will come and kill you? Furthermore, even if he does come, he won't necessarily be able to find the exact location of the treasure. He'll only be able to use his treasure to attack aimlessly. Furthermore, I have a special mark. When I release it, only my clan's people will be able to sense it. If you help me this time, then in the future, when you come to planet Chilian, I'll be your host. My Good Clan will be like the Zhuotian world's immortal sealing sect. There's a way. I can take the risk to take your mark and inform you. However, I can also take the risk of being beheaded at any time. Good Tianshou, have always valued my friends. If you help me this time, then in the future, you'll be my friend and the Good Clan's friend. In the future, when you come to planet Chilian, no one will dare to provoke you. Furthermore, my Good Clan is rich in resources. It'll be beneficial for your cultivation. Furthermore, if you kill Mo Fong Jun, it'll be considered as solving your problem. This guy is a natural businessman. He's trapped in my treasure, yet he's still so calm and clear-headed as to discuss conditions with me. As the two of them talked, Su Fong suddenly realized that this Gu Tianshou in front of him was not the hedonistic young master that he looked like. He was clearly a shrewd person. He had almost misjudged this person. Since the other party's words were so clear and logical, Su Fong agreed. Before taking action, Su Fong suddenly raised a condition. Your Good Clan's experts have suppressed Mo Fong Jun. You have to leave Mo Fong Jun to me. Are you thinking of obtaining a 7th level Yang nascent soul realm slave? Gu Tianshou immediately understood Su Fong's thoughts. Talking to smart people was not tiring at all. Use the true devil blood plate. Crush his imprint outside and hide inside the true devil blood plate. A 7th level Yang nascent soul realm cultivator's attack is very shocking and can destroy this land. However, it won't be able to damage a royal grade artifact. Gu Tianshou condensed an imprint and handed it to Su Fong. Before the latter left, Green Feather King reminded him. Whoosh! Su Fong flew out of the Xianhuang 6 Paths Pagoda and appeared in front of a large tree in the forest. Looking at the surrounding fog, he did not see any danger. However, That expert was nearby and was spying on every movement in the forest. After flying a few hundred meters, Su Fong immediately crushed the imprint and suddenly flew in another direction. "Want to run?" A breath later, the fog in the forest suddenly solidified. Su Fong entered the true devil blood plate in time, and the true devil blood plate turned into the size of a seed and hid in a large rock on the ground. A controlling force turned into a barrier that fell on the forest. The solidified fog was filled with killing intent. Tut 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 within the true devil blood plate. Su Fong heard a huge commotion as if the world was collapsing. He used the heavenly devil disintegration imprint and released a strand of divine sense to leave the true devil blood plate. He immediately saw that the forest was under the control of a controlling force. It was as if the forest was being crushed by a 100-meter-long wave of chi. Patches of forest and land began to shatter under the immense power of a young nascent soul. Powerful. The strength of a 7th-level young nascent soul is like the creation of heaven and earth in the legends. As long as it's in this forest, anything will shatter. Even a mid-grade artifact will shatter. A high-grade artifact will be shaken by the huge force. Only a royal-grade artifact will not be affected much. Seeing the destructive means of a young nascent soul realm powerhouse, Su Fong understood that there was always someone stronger. A young nascent soul realm cultivator was completely undying and indestructible. When he looked again, there was only dust in front of him. There was no trace of the forest. All the giant trees, flowers, and grasses were gone. Even the rocks and hills had become barren. The forest had become a gray ruin. At least 10 kilometers of land and forest had disappeared completely. Under this destructive power, even if an indestructible 10th layer expert was hiding in this land, they would be instantly turned into dust. Only a young soul realm expert could survive. Even a supreme demon king would be seriously injured when facing such power. Clearly, this was the killing move of that big shot called Mo Fongjun. Ho, the dust in the ruins suddenly stirred up a shocking storm. Within the storm, a figure that looked like a wind blade appeared. It was like a combination of an illusion and a real body. Together with the storm, it quickly moved through the ruins. Mo Fongjun, the storm was formed from the power of countless wind blades. Another astonishing ravine appeared in the ruins where he swept past. It seemed that he was still looking for Ku Tianshou. He did not believe that he had died here. Su Fong was hidden in the true demonic blood plate, and the true demonic blood plate lay in the dust without any aura. A young nascent soul expert would not be able to detect its existence. On the other hand, Su Fong's divine psyche was focused on Mo Fongjun. He controlled the storm to go further and further away. He didn't know when the Gu family's experts would arrive. Now, all he could do was wait. Chi-Chi. In the cold and desolate ruins, a white lightning suddenly struck down from the sky. In an instant, it turned into countless lightning rays and struck the storm. With a boom, the storm instantly exploded. Chapter 262. When the explosion occurred, heaven and earth trembled. The true devil blood plate was blown away by this aura. Su Fong felt the world in front of him turn upside down. He stared at that explosion. It seemed like the Gu family's experts had rushed over to kill Mo Fongjun. A young nascent realm strength could destroy heaven and earth. After a while, the true devil blood plate calmed down. Chi-Chi. Another few bolts of lightning struck Fong Yun Pu and fell into the ruins. Why did you kill me? Your mission to kill Gu Tianshou has failed. Master cannot let you return to the Gu family alive. How do you want Master to deal with this matter? Mo Fongjun, we can only eliminate you. Amidst the lightning, a few more giant hands clawed at the ground below. From the ruins of the ground, the light of the magic treasures rose up and clashed with the giant hands. The light of the magic treasures shattered layer by layer. Muffled thunder burst out in the air, crackling nonstop. Profound Yellow's aura is nearby. The two great artifacts will not be affected by Yang Nascent Realm's aura. Su Fong sensed the Xianwang Six Paths Pagoda's aura. It was several kilometers away. Unfortunately, he could not communicate with the green feather king inside profound yellow. Master, don't worry. I can sense the true devil bloodplate's aura. Profound Yellow's voice came from the depths of the dust, as expected of a Yuan spirit that was close to a Tao artifact. Even when separated from its master, it could still communicate from far away. Yuan spirit continued, Master, that Gu Tianshou said that the young nascent realm experts fighting ahead are all with Mo Fengjun. They are killing people to silence them. Killing people to silence them? So it was a group of people killing each other. That was too interesting. Whoosh whoosh. At this moment, the attacks in the sky suddenly disappeared. Su Fong stared ahead and could not see anything. Yuan's spirit continued. The Peng King sensed several powerful young, nascent realm auras coming to this world. Gu Tianshou said that they were experts sent by his father. We can go out now. However, the Peng King wants you to be careful. Be careful of Gu Tianshou going back on his words. Tell the Peng King not to worry. After the exchange, he immediately formed a seal and appeared on the ruins. The true devil blood plate also disappeared from his palm. He formed another seal, and a pagoda image flew out from the depths. Just as it flew to Su Fong's side, the pagoda image shot out a human figure. Gu Tianshou, comfortable, this is the taste of freedom. Gu Tianshou took a deep breath of air as soon as he came out. Young master, 6 figures flew out of the turbulent clouds. Every one of them was in the Yang Soul realm, and they were all big shots in the higher levels of the Yang Soul realm. Their strength was on par with Mo Fengjun. It seemed that although the Gu family was not a family that focused on cultivation, they had a strong foundation. With resources, they could gather countless strong practitioners to work for the Gu family. When Gu Tianshou met with the 6 experts, he secretly exchanged a few words with them. The few of them then sized up Su Fong. It seemed like they were all surprised that a longevity 3rd layer cultivator was able to evade the pursuit of a young nascent realm giant. Where's Mo Fengjun? Gu Tianshou looked at them. One of the big shots bowed. Young master, Mo Fengjun hasn't been killed. He seems to have run far away. But with his injuries, he should be hiding nearby. The elders want us to capture him and bring him back to the family. It'll be of great benefit to you when you fight for the inheritance. What's the point of that? In the future, there will be many people fighting for my grandfather's position. I'll have to rely on my own strength to fight for it. Otherwise, even if I get the elder position, it won't be stable. But I promised Brother Su Fong that I would give Mo Fengjun to him. So right now, we have to find him even if we have to dig 3 feet into the ground. Gu Tianshou nodded to Su Fong. He should be hiding in a perfect high-grade enchanted item. If we want to find him, we have to each have a peerless high-grade enchanted item. Otherwise, with just our divine abilities, we won't be able to sense the existence of magic treasures. It'll take us dozens of years to find him. Su Fong said to the big shots, It's fine. I have a king-grade enchanted item. As long as you release a young, nascent realm divine ability and pour it in my body, I'll be able to use the king-grade enchanted item's origin spirit. I'll be able to sense the aura of any magic treasure within 50 miles. I'll even be able to distinguish the quality of magic treasures. That Mo Fengjun won't be able to escape. Oh, the 6 of them were stunned. To be able to control the origin spirit to sense all magic treasures within 50 miles? Was that something an ordinary enchanted item could do? Gu Tianshou gave the order, and the 6 of them immediately released their young nascent realm auras. They transformed into 6 waves of spirit energy that poured into Su Fong's body. If these 6 waves of young nascent realm spirit energy are used to cleanse my marrow, then wouldn't my cultivation base be able to reach the undying realm in a short time? The moment the 6 waves of spirit energy touched his body, Su Fong thought back to the time he had been cleansed by the imperial family's experts in the state of Zhao. Unfortunately, that kind of opportunity would only come by a few times. Furthermore, even if he had such an opportunity in front of a young nascent realm expert, Su Fong wouldn't dare accept the cleansing so easily. A young nascent realm expert could casually plant some energy in his body, and it wouldn't be able to manifest. Xian Wang. He absorbed the six big shots' spirit energy and used it to activate the Xian Huang Six Paths Pagoda. Buzz. The aura of a king-grade enchanted item erupted from Su Fang's body. The pure aura of a magic treasure transformed into a supreme Xian Guang that surged out in all directions. What a shocking king-grade enchanted item. This isn't an ordinary magic treasure. What a deep and boundless feeling. The magic treasure's aura swept out, covering the world and gradually moving further and further away. Such power made the six big shots no longer dare to underestimate Su Fang. Powerful. I now have the feeling of using the Xian Huang Six Paths Pagoda to instantly suppress the six young nascent realm experts. The six of them aren't my match right now. Su Fang was more shocked than anyone else. Ever since he had obtained the Xian Huang Six Paths Pagoda, he hadn't been able to use even 1% of the Xian Huang Six Path Pagoda's power. But now, with the help of the six young nascent realm experts, Su Fang truly felt the supreme power of the Xian Huang Six Paths Pagoda as a supreme king-grade enchanted item. Let alone six young nascent realm experts. Even 100 of them could be suppressed. This was the power that the Xian Huang Six Paths Pagoda gave Su Fang. At this moment, Su Fang used the Heavenly Demon Disintegration Seal and fused with his origin spirit under the control of the Xian Huang Six Paths Pagoda by the six young nascent realm experts. At this moment, Su Fang discovered that he was flying through the vast ruins at an extremely fast speed. Not only that, his eyes could see any matter on the ground, even a speck of dust. He could even sense deep underground. It could be said that Su Fang could clearly see everything within 100 miles. This was far beyond the ability of his perfect physical body. And this was only his sensing ability. He didn't know how earth-shaking the Xian Huang Six Paths Pagoda's sensing ability was. I can only use part of the Xian Huang Six Paths Pagoda's power after I become stronger and step into the Yang nascent realm. After experiencing the power of the Xian Huang Six Paths Pagoda with the strength of a Yang nascent realm expert, Su Fang's heart burned with a fanatical flame of power. About half an hour later, buzz! Su Fang and the Six Paths Pagoda's aura shook at the same time. The six experts below and Gu Tianshou all revealed a smile. Yuan Ling excitedly said, "Master!" I sensed it. On the ground 30 miles to the left, under a huge rock, there is the aura of the only high-grade artifact within 100 miles. After telling this news to everyone, the six experts flew over first. Su Fang and Gu Tianshou rose into the sky at a normal speed. When the two of them were 30 miles away, they saw the six experts activating their true fire and burning a black pearl. That pearl was spurting out waves of defensive Xianguang. This was a high-grade artifact that Mo Fengjun was hiding in. It turned out to be a pearl. If it wasn't for the Xianhuang Six Paths Pagoda, it would be too difficult for the six experts to find Mo Fengjun. Before they could find this place, Mo Fengjun would have already slipped away. Mo Fengjun, come out. If you don't come out, the combined power of the six experts is enough to destroy your high-grade artifact. Gu Tianshou looked at the pearl and said coldly, "If I wanted to kill you, I would have already told them to destroy your artifact. You don't want to die, right? If you don't want to die, come out. I will give you a few breaths to consider. If you still don't come out, then you will be destroyed along with your artifact." A trembling voice immediately came out from the black pearl. "Young master, I was wrong. It was not my idea to kill you. It was the elder's idea. If I kill you, the next elder's position will not be yours. It will fall into the hands of the other young master of the Gu clan. I know you are being used by them. That's why I did not let them destroy your artifact. Come out now. I will not waste my breath on you. They want to kill you to silence you. Why are you still protecting them? Even if I don't kill you, they will not let you go. You will never be able to return to planet Qi Lian. You really won't kill me. After a few breaths, even if I don't kill you, you will die along with your artifact. Fine, I'll come out. I'll come out." Mo Fengjun finally admitted defeat. He had no choice. If he was facing a Yang soul expert, then he could safely hide in his artifact. But now there were 6 experts. A high-grade artifact could not protect him. His luck was too bad. Not only did he fail to kill them, he was also being chased. The 6 experts weakened their auras, and the Black Pearl turned into a Xianguang. A middle-aged man wearing yellow Taoist robes flashed out of the Xianguang and landed on the ground. Bang! The moment he appeared, he knelt in front of Gu Tianshou. "Young master, please spare me. I'm only a man. It's good to have money and power. An imperishable realm cultivator can make a 7th-stage Yang soul expert kneel." As Mo Fengjun knelt, Su Fong was filled with emotions. This was the difference between him and Gu Tianshou, the difference between him and the immortal Sealing Sex Crown Prince faction, and people like the Great Qing's Prince and Xueqing. Gu Tianshou disdainfully raised the corner of his mouth. "I said I won't kill you, so I won't kill you. However, I can spare you from death, but you cannot escape punishment. You only have one choice, and that is to become my friend's servant. If you don't agree, then you will be killed right now. Become someone's servant." Mo Fengjun looked at Su Fong and saw that he was a longevity realm cultivator. He immediately deflated, thinking that he would have to become Gu Tianshou's servant. "You only have to say if you're willing or not." I'm willing. Mo Fengjun still compromised. Brother Su Fong. Gu Tianshou glanced at Su Fong. Devil seal planting. The latter was not polite at all. He activated the devil chi in his body and merged it with the true devil blood plate's special imprint. It turned into black smoke and poured into the defenseless Mo Fengjun's head. Devil chi. When Su Fong used this technique, Gu Tianshou and the other 6 Yang soul experts treated him as a freak. A righteous path cultivator was actually able to skillfully control a devil path divine ability. "Master." Mo Fengjun obediently bowed to Su Fong. "Ha! A 7th-stage Yang soul servant. Are you satisfied this time?" Gu Tianshou revealed the expression of a businessman and winked at Su Fong. He was very unhappy. Satisfied? Of course he was satisfied. A 7th-stage Yang soul servant. With this, Su Fong would have complete confidence and bargaining chips to contend with the Crown Prince faction. With such an expert, he would be able to carry out any mission in the future. After completing the mission, he would be able to suppress even more servants. Chapter 263. Gu Tianshou had given Su Fong a big gift. Of course, Su Fong had also done him a favor and helped him this time. Otherwise, Su Fong could have suppressed Gu Tianshou within Xianhuang and taken him as a servant. But thinking deeper, since Gu Tianshou was the young master of the Ku clan, he must have a life-saving treasure. If Su Fong really wanted to suppress him, he might succeed. Rather than that, he might as well accept Green Feather King's suggestion. Not only did he release Gu Tianshou, but he also helped him to get rid of Mo Fengjun. The key was that Gu Tianshou kept his promise and made Mo Fengjun his servant. At this time, the 6 experts came to Gu Tianshou's side. "Young master, let's hurry back to planet Chilean. If we stay here, we will cause trouble. Zhuetian boundary is not our planet Chilean. There are many big powers here." "Wait." Gu Tianshou's gaze fell on Su Fong. "Brother Su Fong, are you a disciple of a big power in Zhuetian boundary or a rogue cultivator? If you don't mind, you can follow me to planet Chilean and cultivate in my Ku clan. My Ku clan's territory is also vast and has all kinds of cultivation resources. There are also many small worlds around planet Chilean. My Ku clan has control over the shuttle door, so it is convenient for us to travel. This is a good condition. That Ku clan brat has taken a fancy to your ability and wants you to work for them." Green Feather King secretly analyzed. Su Fong cupped his fists. "Young Master Ku, our sect is fated. I will go to planet Chilean, but not now. I'm only at longevity layer 3. If I want to go to planet Chilean, I will need to reach Undying Realm. Only then will I have the strength to protect myself in the vast starry sky. With my current cultivation, I will not be able to stand firm on planet Chilean. Zhuetian boundary is very familiar to me, so it will be more beneficial for my cultivation. You have a point. Clipchamp thought for a moment and took out an empty bag and tossed it to Su Fong. You are always welcome to visit me on planet Chilean. Take the things inside as a token of my appreciation. Just come to planet Chilean and activate the rune talisman. Young master. The 6 experts protected Ku Tianxiu as they flew towards the Yuan city. Su Fong was shocked when he saw the contents of the bag. There were tens of millions of indestructible pure essence pills, an equal number of high-grade and top-grade spirit stones, as well as a variety of gems of unknown origin. I just don't have any magical weapons. It was probably because Ku Tianxiu knew that Su Fong did not lack magical weapons, so he only left behind these pure elemental pills and spirit stones. These resources are indeed enough to buy a few high-grade pill cauldrons for the Cook clan. What a rich and overbearing Cook clan. But this time, even if Su Fong wanted to return the money, he couldn't. However, these resources also needed to be reassuring. He could not save these people for nothing. Keeping the empty bag, Su Fong turned his attention to Mo Fongjun. He was so scared that he felt uneasy. Mo Fongjun, why do you have to kill the young master of the Cook clan? Mo Fongjun wanted to cry, but had no tears. He wanted to kill himself. I have a choice. If I don't do it, the other party will not let me go. At least, I won't be able to establish myself in planet Chilean. If I kill Ku Tianxiu, I can get a large amount of resources and can buy a good King Grade artifact. With the King Grade artifact, I will be invincible in the young infant realm. You are dreaming. If you kill the young master of the Cook clan, you will be able to leave planet Chilean. I think the Cook clan is very deep, right? The Cook clan is very big. There are hundreds of thousands of people in the clan. Adding in the slaves and experts, there are millions of people. The clan is very big and is one of the 3 big mining clans. They have cooperated with the 8 big factions and businesses for tens of thousands of years. They are deeply rooted in planet Chilean. How many elders does the Cook clan have? Why do they have to kill each other? There are many elders in the Cook clan, but there are only a few great elders. Furthermore, the position of great elder is passed down from generation to generation. Within the clan of each great elder, the disciples will start to fight openly and secretly for the position of great elder. I think there are people who bribed other great elders to get the position of great elder. The great elder sits on a piece of land. In the Cook clan and planet Chilean, he is like an emperor. If one obtains the position of great elder, he will have power and resources. I didn't expect that a clan would kill each other. Hearing this, Su Fong felt a chill down his spine. When a clan is big, it will not be easy to manage. Family Su is now an insignificant clan with only a few hundred people. If there are tens of thousands of people in the future, there will be many clansmen fighting openly and secretly for resources and status. Su Fong activated a Xian Guang and condensed the pagoda door. Enter the treasure first. Those people who want to kill you will not leave until they get rid of you. It is impossible for them to find you in the Zhuotian realm. Yes, Mo Fongjun had gone through a life and death situation. Now, he had seen through it and entered the pagoda door. An hour later, Su Fong returned to the meteorite plains. Luan Mo was waiting at the entrance of the secret immortal cave. When he saw Su Fong, he bowed and asked, "Master, are you all right?" It was a false alarm. This time, I obtained another Yang soul slave. How has the Yang strengthening pill been in the past few months? After entering the secret passage, he smelled medicinal fragrance. I've refined over 100,000 Yang strengthening pills of different grades. It won't be a problem to refine a few 100,000 pills this year. When they arrived, Su Fong summoned the High Reverend Devil King. In the future, you and Wan Mo will be in charge of refining the Yang strengthening pill. I will handle the matter of capturing slaves. Looking at the two of them, Su Fong saw through their thoughts. Don't cause any trouble. Just focus on refining the pills. If something goes wrong, I won't be polite. You used to be disciples of the devil worship sect, but not anymore. Here, you just need to understand one thing: how to complete the task I give you. We understand, said the two Devil Path experts. Devil King Supreme, you're the strongest, but don't use that to suppress one MO. Just focus on your task. When the time comes, I'll give you the true devil blood. You're at the third level of the Yang Soul Realm now. Once you obtain the true devil blood, your strength will undergo an earth-shattering transformation. We won't cause trouble. The High Reverend Devil King became obedient upon hearing the true devil blood. He even smiled at Wan Mo. But in Wan Mo's eyes, he was a true devil. Even if the High Reverend Devil King's cultivation base was higher than his status was lower. After that, Su Fong sent the High Reverend Devil King to Grand Yuan City to secretly monitor the sales of the Yang Strengthening Pill. In the Xinhuang space, Mo Fengjun, who was at the 7th level of the Yang Soul Realm, was standing in front of King Greenfeather. He thought he could act high and mighty in front of Su Fong. But after seeing King Greenfeather enter the Xianhuang Six Paths Pagoda, he realized how insignificant he was. He couldn't even sense King Greenfeather's cultivation base. That could only mean one thing. King Greenfeather's cultivation base far surpassed his. With the addition of the Xianhuang Six Paths Pagoda, Mo Fengjun realized just how powerful Su Fong was. Mo Fengjun, I need a little bit of your essence blood. It's insignificant to you, but your blood can strengthen my physical body and recover my life force. At some point, Su Fong had appeared beside him. Mo Fengjun bowed. Master, what you want is my blood chi. But I'm at the Yang Soul Realm, while you're at the Longevity Realm. Your physical body can't fuse with my power. Furthermore, you'll reject my essence blood. I have a human blood goo. Have you heard of it? Su Fong sat down. Human blood goo? That's a precious treasure. It's a precious treasure raised by a family that raises goo. There are very few of them. I didn't expect Master to have such a treasure. If Master needs more power, Master has so many powerful servants. They can definitely help Master cleanse your marrow. Cleansing your marrow is good, but the higher your cultivation base, the more you need to rely on yourself to cultivate. External power doesn't belong to you, and you can't control it. Otherwise, there are countless families that can give birth to countless experts just by cleansing their marrow. Mo Fengjun was startled. Only now did he understand why Su Fong was only at the Longevity Realm despite having so many resources. Otherwise, he would have long since reached the Undead Realm. Creak! A human blood goo appeared. Mo Fengjun released a ball of blood chi that wrapped around it. In truth, the human blood goo could only absorb a tiny bit of it. Su Fong had also thought about cleansing his marrow and filling his head. There was no harm in filling his head in the lower realms, but in the higher realms, he would have to cultivate divine abilities at each realm. At each stage, he would have to comprehend all kinds of profound techniques. If he filled his head in, he would lose all of that. Once he reached the peak, he would lose his foundation. Without a foundation, it would be even more difficult for him to comprehend the Grand Tao and become an immortal. That wasn't the reason. Just how many large powers could directly nurture countless undead and Yang Soul Realm experts through filling their heads. That way, they could be strong for a while, but they wouldn't be able to last long. If Green Feather King filled his head in, he would definitely be more than willing. He hoped that Su Fong could grow stronger and help him get his revenge. Buzz! The blood chi disappeared, and the human blood goo returned to Su Fong's hand. Su Fong sucked the human blood goo into his palm and prepared to cultivate. Suddenly, he asked, Mo Fengjun, you don't have a King Grey Dharma artifact? That's right. I only have a high Grey Dharma artifact, but it's a peak defensive Dharma artifact. This Dharma artifact will be of great help to me. For a Yang Soul Realm cultivator, a high Grey Dharma artifact is the most suitable. But if I have a King Grey Dharma artifact, I will be even stronger. I had 3 King Grade enchanted artifacts before, and I gave them to the Leech King, Wan Mo, and the Supreme Devil King. When you were chasing the Supreme Devil King, he used that King Grade enchanted artifact called the Myriad Worlds Banner to avoid you. I still have a chance to get a King Grade enchanted artifact. You can cultivate here without worry. Su Fong wanted Mo Fengjun to be loyal to him, so he wanted to find him a king-grade enchanted artifact. Mo Fengjuan's thoughts were very simple. It was not easy to cultivate a king-grade Dharma artifact. A Yang Soul Realm cultivator could not unleash the true power of a king-grade Dharma artifact. A top-grade Dharma artifact was most suitable for a Yang Soul Realm cultivator. He wanted a king-grade Dharma artifact, but he also wanted an extraordinary Dharma artifact. Otherwise, it would be better to focus on cultivating a top-grade Dharma artifact. Mo Fengjun went to another space to cultivate. Su Feng also began to immerse himself, allowing the human blood goo to fuse with his body. After half a year, the human blood goo would fuse with the essence blood of a Yang Soul Realm cultivator. At that time, Su Feng would be able to absorb it. Master. A few months later, the Supreme Demon King hurriedly transmitted his voice. Su Feng sucked him into the profound yellow space. The Supreme Demon King excitedly knelt down. Most of the impotence pills we left into Yuan City's Immortal Bestowment Merchant Guild have already been sold out. Taoist Master Feng Yuan of the Merchant Guild wants me to quickly replenish our stock. The more, the better. Su Feng urged, all right. Take all the impotence pills you have refined in the past year to the Immortal Bestowment Merchant Guild. Don't forget to ask for payment from Taoist Master Feng Yuan. Then, secretly collect all kinds of refining materials. The more, the better. Especially remember, don't buy more than 3 kinds of materials from the same merchant guild. This subordinate will do it right away. The Supreme Demon King excitedly left. The Immortal Bestowment Merchant Guild's influence in the Zhuotian world was astonishing. The impotence pill they sold was more effective than the Supreme God Sect's underground market. The Supreme God Sect's items could only be sold privately. However, the Immortal Bestowment Merchant Guild was different. Su Feng continued to cultivate. After a while, the Supreme Demon King returned with a large amount of high-grade spirit stones, as well as all kinds of materials he had purchased. Chapter 264. Hundreds of thousands of pills had brought Su Feng a lot of high-grade spirit stones. It was enough to buy a dozen high-grade pill cauldrons. I'm really unhappy that the Immortal Sealing Sect took away a lot of my profits. But now, I need them to make a name for the Immortal Sealing Sect. While cultivating, Su Feng had been thinking about how to make the Immortal Sealing Sect bring him more benefits. The only way was to sell the pills himself. But if he wanted to open a chamber of commerce, it wouldn't be done in a few years or 100 years. A chamber of commerce could open one. But how many pills could they sell? The Immortal Sealing Sect had a lot of branches in the Zhuotian domain. They couldn't sell that many pills into Yuan City alone. I can't take the initiative in a short time. I'll let the Immortal Sealing Sect make a name for the Immortal Sealing Sect first. Then, I won't have to worry about not being able to sell them in the future. After thinking about it, he started cultivating again, refining the Yang Nascent Realm's undying blood. 2 years. He had left the Immortal Sealing Sect for 2 years. Once he absorbed the Yang Nascent Realm's essence blood, he would be able to recover his vitality and increase his cultivation speed. In the next year, he might be able to reach the 4th layer of the Immortal Realm. The human blood goose sensed Su Feng's power and moved inside the blood layer. Blood mist seeped out of its mouth. It didn't look like much, but it was like smoke entering Su Feng's flesh. Su Feng's body shook. After fusing with the high-grade essence blood, his blood started circulating in his body. Not only his meridians, but also his blood. His vitality was restored. He used the 100 acupoints finger art and fused with the Yang Nascent Realm's essence blood to attack the 3rd Yang Meridian. He also cultivated the Heavenly Demon Book. He absorbed the golden core inside, the purple chi lost spirit into his dantian. After releasing his devil chi, he used the Heavenly Demon Book's mantra to form a large amount of devil chi in his body. In his divine apertures, with the help of the profound magic ring and the 100 acupoints finger art, his magic power was constantly condensing. Su Feng hadn't felt so smooth cultivating for a long time. As his energy condensed and his magic power became stronger, his strength was constantly rising. If he hadn't used 500 years of his lifespan to seize the spirit gourd, his cultivation would have been in a normal state. Immortal ceiling, sect immortal, touching heaven, in a space in a misty paradise. Senior apprentice brother Shui, is there still no news of Fang Yu? This subordinate is constantly thinking of finding this person, pulling out his tendons and flaying his skin. Hua Duf and a few men surrounded Xueqing. Immortal ceiling sect is of immortal realm. Xueqing said, this person is extremely talented. He has been favored by Frozen Moon Cave over the years, especially this time when he defeated the Prince of Qing and became #1 on the ranking list of young masters. The higher-ups of Frozen Moon Cave are considering letting Fang Yu carry out another difficult mission. Once he completes it, he will be allowed to enter the Shangxian Heaven to cultivate. This mission is Fang Yu's opportunity and also your best chance to get rid of him. I don't believe he can survive this time. Don't be careless. Don't be careless. Since this person was able to kill Yin Chongluo, it means that he is very capable. Moreover, this time, I heard that the Ice Moon Cave bestowed upon him a high-grade flying sword called the Wind and Fire Dual Spirit Sword. In addition to the rainbow, soul-absorbing bell that he previously possessed, he already has 2 high-grade magical artifacts on him. A high-grade magical artifact is a magical artifact that only young, nascent realm experts can wield. You guys must also have high-grade magical artifacts, so it won't be easy to kill Su Fang. 2 high-grade magical artifacts are enough to give you guys a headache. When the time comes, I'll find a few junior brothers Bumiye to go with you. Once you kill him, the treasures he obtained will belong to you guys. However, the rainbow soul-absorbing bell will belong to me. 2 high-grade treasures in the hands of the same immortal realm disciple. We know. Now we wait for the kid to come back to take the mission. Kill him, and you can ask the crown prince for a reward. Slap. One of the Bumiye disciples was slapped by Xueqing. Xueqing slapped him so hard that he spun around and saw stars. Xueqing pointed at them and wanted to slap them. Do I need to curry favor with the crown prince of the Qing kingdom? He's just a young, nascent realm cultivator. But in the end, he's just a pawn of the crown prince of the Shui family. Yes, it's my fault. The disciple who had been slapped for no reason kept nodding his head and bowing. But how could he not be angry in his heart? Meteorite Field. In a secret cave, Demon King Shangzuan was kneeling in front of Su Fang. He had just returned from the Yuan city. Master, in the 2nd year, we refined 30 million aphrodisiac pills and sold them out. This year, half a year has passed, and they're sold out. The demand for aphrodisiac pills is 10 times higher than a year ago. If this continues, it will reach 100 times higher in less than 10 years. At that time, we'll need to refine at least 1 billion aphrodisiac pills a year. With our current ability, it's not easy to refine 10 million aphrodisiac pills a year. Let's maintain the current amount for everyone. I have to find a way to capture slaves. After learning about the sales of aphrodisiac pills in the 3rd year, Su Fang was relieved and couldn't sit still. The demand for aphrodisiac pills was getting bigger and bigger. Just relying on 100 slaves to refine aphrodisiac pills day and night would tire them to death. After Demon King Shangzuan left, Su Fang was even more anxious. Refining aphrodisiac pills was the most important thing right now. The Immortal Ceiling sect was not in a hurry. After all, they had only been out for 3 years. Bang, bang, bang. It was the 100 acupoints finger technique again. A large number of finger imprints were placed on his body. After half a year of cultivation, the 2 yang meridians in his body were full of yang qi. Especially after absorbing the yang nascent realm's essence blood, his overall condition had reached the peak. He took out a lot of high-grade spirit stones and created a spiritual altar. With a spiritual altar, there was always spiritual energy. There were many uses for spirit stones, such as refining, cultivation, and setting up formations. Most of them were used to set up formations and set up wondrous doors. For cultivation, low-level cultivators would absorb spiritual energy one by one. 4 high-level cultivators with resources they would be like Su Fong. They would take out a lot of high-quality spirit stones and set up a spiritual altar. Then they would sit cross-legged and cultivate. This kind of cultivation required a lot of high-quality spirit stones. Ordinary cultivators couldn't afford such consumption. The Immortal Sealing sect was a place that most cultivators dreamed of. As a disciple of the sect, they could enjoy a lot of resources and rapidly improve their strength. Just like the members of the Crown Prince Society. Even the weakest members were nurtured by the Crown Prince. With enough resources, they didn't need to rely on experts to cultivate. Because of this, the members of the Crown Prince Society were arrogant and acted like dogs in the Immortal Sealing sect. The spiritual altar cost more than 10,000 high-grade spirit stones and was only about 3 meters tall. Su Fongda was still absorbing spiritual energy, adding in the 100 Meridian's finger art, the frigid energy from the primeval chaos sage, the flame power from the flame god mammoth, and the life force energy from the dragon subduing tree. He was reaching new heights. The sight of his breakthrough caused many of the servants in charge of pill concocting in the Immortals' cave to gasp in amazement. Only now did they realize that Su Fong had relied on his own cultivation to reach his current level of strength. Did you see that? Of course you did. I had a friend who was in the imperishable realm. He captured some servants and forced them to work day and night to help him with his cultivation. In the end, they worked themselves to the bone until they died of exhaustion. After they died, they were turned into skin puppets. We're lucky. Ever since we became servants, our master has never asked us to do anything that would cause us to lose our self-respect. He doesn't even ask us to help with cultivation. Instead, he gives us cultivation resources. Look at Juan Devil and the Exalted Devil King. They even gave us a royal-grade magical item. Well, not bad either. Master also gave us high-quality magical treasures. Which one of them isn't a treasure? Do you think we can buy them with our own wealth? The servants were discussing in private. Sometimes they would pay attention to the true fire of the pill cauldron, sometimes they would smell the medicinal fragrance, and sometimes they would pay attention to Su Fong, who was cultivating. It wasn't just the ordinary servants who noticed this. Mo Fong-jun, who had the strongest cultivation base, was the same. He was much more meticulous than the undying and indestructible servants. He had assumed that Su Fong would need his blood essence for his cultivation, breakthroughs, divine abilities, talismans, and so on. Su Fong had asked for his blood essence, so he would need his help. Unfortunately, he was completely wrong. Other than a tiny bit of essence blood, Su Fong didn't want him to help with his cultivation or breakthrough at all. This made Mo Fong-jun feel more at ease. A servant was a slave. Being beaten and cursed was normal. Even if they were killed, they would still be angry. Bang! After a few more months, he had built a total of 3 spiritual altars. When the spirit stones of the 3rd spiritual altar turned gray, Su Fong suddenly increased the speed of the 100 acupuncture points technique. Bang! Bang! Deafening explosions came from his body. His energy was like a flood. After the explosion, a large amount of impurities seeped out. His energy was also divided into 4 layers. 4 layers of longevity realm. Su Fong advanced another step. At this moment, he felt his life aura become more relaxed, normal, and comfortable. It was obvious that he had recovered some of his 500 years of lifespan. It was much better than the 3 layers of longevity realm. As long as he broke through another realm, his 500 years of lifespan would be completely recovered. Master, just as he was using the 100 acupuncture points technique to control the power of advancement, the Supreme Demon King hurried to the cave. Su Fong was distracted while he was attacking. Something important. The Supreme Demon King said, "I know that the Supreme God Sect has a grudge with Master. Who knew that when I was secretly buying materials this time, I found many experts from the Supreme God Sect. They hid their identities outside the Yuan City and then entered the city. They went to the Immortal Bestowment Chamber of Commerce and other places to secretly inquire about any information related to the impotence pill." Supreme God Sect Su Fong almost ignored this news. After thinking for a while, he sneered. 3 years. It's only been 3 years. I didn't expect the Supreme God Sect's ears to be so sharp. They immediately knew about the impotence pill and came to the Yuan City. They appeared here for only one purpose, and that is to find the person behind the impotence pill and seize the pill formula. Back in the Spirit Sect's ruins, the Supreme God Sect's big shot used the heaven and earth sensing technique to seize the pill formula. In the end, Su Fong escaped. Then, the Supreme God Sect must be waiting for the impotence pill to appear again. This kind of pill couldn't disappear and would appear in people's sight again. They could think of this and had been sending people to secretly collect information. Su Fong also thought of this before he cooperated with the Immortal Bestowment Chamber of Commerce. But he didn't expect the Supreme God Sect's ears to be so sharp. In just 3 years, they found a Yuan City. Chapter 265. Su Fong had interacted with the Supreme God Sect twice, especially when he was selling the aphrodisiac pill in the ruins of the Spirit Sect. He was very clear about what kind of people the Supreme God Sect was. They would not give up until they reached their goal. Moreover, they would do anything for their goal. Since you want to snatch my pill recipe, I won't be polite to you. Coincidentally, I'm lacking servants. This time, I'll make sure you won't be able to return. After a while, he had an idea. He looked at the Supreme Demon King and said, "Think of a way to find out how many people the Supreme God Sect has and what their strongest cultivation is. Find out and come back quickly." Yes, the Supreme Demon King felt Su Fong's killing intent and left in a flash. Mo Fongjun, we need you to deal with the Supreme God Sect this time. The Supreme God Sect is a group of scum. At this time, Su Fong communicated with Mo Fongjun again. Master. However, Mo Fongjun was very calm. You have to be careful of the Supreme God Sect. Su Fong was very curious. With Mo Fongjun's cultivation, he was still so cautious. Why are you from planet Chilean? Do you know about the Supreme God Sect? Does the Supreme God Sect have business with Ku Tianshou's family? Planet Chilean, Supreme God Sect. It was very easy to make the connection. The Supreme God Sect went to planet Chilean long ago and cooperated with the Ku family. They bought a lot of ores from the Ku family. Although they're not a big customer of the Ku family, their business is not small. Furthermore, the Supreme God Sect has opened many businesses in the small worlds around the Zhuotian world. I heard that the Zhuotian world rejects the Supreme God Sect. This phenomenon is very strange. The Supreme God Sect is doing well in other small worlds, but in the Zhuotian world, they are restricted by other powers. I heard that they're only staying in an abandoned continent. You should be more careful than this, right? The Ge clan and the Supreme God Sect have business dealings, and the Supreme God Sect wants to get more trading rights, so they want to show the Ge clan how powerful the Supreme God Sect is. Later on, people say that the Supreme God Sect isn't simple. It's said that although the Supreme God Sect was founded less than 20,000 years ago, there's an extremely powerful force behind it, and that's the Supreme God Sect. But that Supreme God Sect isn't from the small world, it's from the big world. Now, the Supreme God Sect has received orders from the big world to establish a branch in the small world. Is it true that the Supreme God Sect originated from the outside world? His expression was grave. If this was truly the case, then wouldn't the Supreme Deity Sect truly be a giant crocodile that came from a great world? Who could afford to offend them? This subordinate can also guarantee that it is somewhat trustworthy. The Ge clan also maintains a dubious attitude towards this matter. They will not increase their cooperation with the Supreme God Sect, nor will they offend the Supreme God Sect. Mo Fongjun shook his head. Senior, have you heard of the origin of the Supreme God Sect? Since Mo Fongjun did not know, then what about Green Feather King? He had lived for more than 10,000 years and had been to planet Chilean as well as other small worlds. Green Feather King was in the profound yellow space, helping Bai Ling cultivate. When he saw Su Fong's divine sense, he immediately shook his head. This king doesn't have a deep relationship with the Supreme God Sect, so he didn't pay attention to these things. However, the Supreme God Sect is indeed very mysterious. In the past, it was a group of people from all walks of life, but after 10,000 years of development, they actually became very mature. There is nothing too strange in this world. There is a sentence in this King's Book of Life. It is better to believe it is true. You should believe that the Supreme God sect is related to the outside world. Experience? This was true experience. After careful consideration, Su Fong agreed with Green Feather King's reasoning. If he treated the Supreme God sect as a little mouse and underestimated its power, he would definitely suffer in the future. But if he treated the Supreme God sect as a fierce tiger, just like how the Celestial Sealing sect was in his heart, he would be able to become the final winner. If I hadn't underestimated the Celestial Sealing sect back then, I wouldn't have been suppressed by them. Brat, your life is really good. Green Feather King sighed and no longer paid attention to him. Chi-Chi, after coming up with a countermeasure, Su Fong continued to control the advancement energy to break through his body. This time, the effect of the advancement wasn't as obvious as before. After the breakthrough, Su Fong once again took out a large amount of spirit stones to build a spiritual altar. Moreover, he had swallowed an undead realm undying flower. With the spiritual altar, the undying flower, and Su Fong's various resources, his powerful meridians, and his deep physical body once again erupted with energy. It was like 10,000 horses were galloping. It gave his physical body an indescribable feeling of power. As someone who had reached the peak of the outer Tao's physical body, Su Fong had the power of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000 horses. Now, just by relying on his physical strength, Su Fong should be able to reach the power of 1,000 horses. With a single punch, he would be able to shatter Zhao's imperial palace. Physical strength and divine abilities were two different states. Physical strength was purely physical strength, so the range it affected was very small. But divine abilities were different, so their power was also different. One punch could shatter Zhao's imperial city, but if he used the Daluo Heavenly Sword Qi, he could turn Zhao's imperial city to dust in just a breath. Boom! Boom! Powerful magic energy condensed in his divine aperture, producing thunderous rumbling. Physical body, energy, magic energy, spirit energy. Each of Su Fong's sides began to establish their advantage. His physical body had reached the peak of the outer Tao. That was the limit of the outer Tao that only the ancient cultivators had cultivated. Energy. He had 2 yang meridians, a violet chi magic spirit, and a sealed golden core. Magic energy. His divine aperture was sturdy, and his magic energy was abundant. He also had the mystic magic ring to aid his cultivation. Spirit energy. He cultivated the heavenly demon scripture and used the heavenly demon disintegration seal. He could strip his spirit energy into countless soul fragments at any time. Just by using the heavenly demon disintegration seal, Su Fong was an invincible existence in the immortal realm. No immortal realm expert could control a powerful spirit energy. Master, Demon King Supreme, came back in a hurry. After this period of time, Su Fong's cultivation gradually returned to normal. Demon King High Venerate said, "I've already investigated the situation. Supreme God Sect has sent over 50 imperishable realm experts this time, as well as 3 young infant realm giants. There should be a small portion of imperishable realm experts scattered into Yuan City, and the 3 young infant realm giants' cultivations should be between the 4th and 6th level. 4th to 6th level young infant tier big shots shouldn't be a big problem. Now that we have Mo Fongjun, who is at the 7th level young infant tier, I think these people from the Supreme God Sect are only investigating our foundation first. Once they understand our background, they will then send even more experts to the Yuan City to deal with us. Master, you can capture these people and turn them into your slaves. The Supreme God Sect wants to seize my elixir recipes. Suppressing them one by one and turning them into slaves is too easy for them. If they don't behave, I will kill them and hand them over to the junior commander to cultivate. Or I will let you refine them into puppets. Isn't it still the same?" Hee. Demon King Supreme looked at Mo Fongjun, who was cultivating in the distance. He was also shocked. He never thought that such a big shot could be suppressed into a slave. Continue to monitor their movements into Yuan City. I will go and set up a trap. This time, most of the Supreme God Sect's people have been suppressed. It shouldn't be a problem for a few of them to escape. If the Supreme God Sect sends more experts, we will suppress them again. He asked Demon King Supreme to continue to hide into Yuan City. Su Fong called Mo Fengjun over and ordered Luan Mo to continue guarding the secret cave. He must not let the aura of alchemy leak out and let outsiders discover the cave. After arriving at the meteorite field, the two flew towards another land. After leaving the meteorite field, Su Fong searched on the map. 10,000 miles away from the true art sacred immortal sect, there were no more cultivators in this vast territory. There was only a desert. The desert didn't have a name. It was connected to this complicated place. The desert was either surrounded by huge canyons or majestic mountain ranges. There were also many cultivators searching for treasures here. After the two flew for a while, Mo Fengjun praised, "This place is not bad. It is far from the alchemy cave and not within the territory of a big power like the true art's sacred immortal sect." That's good. The two flew into the desert again. This desert was not like an ordinary desert where sand and stones would fly everywhere. The wind would not stop, but there would be sandstorms from time to time. Choosing this place is not as good as the canyons. Mo Fengjun was very puzzled. There are Shadowall monsters below, and I have a method to make them submit. As long as we control a large number of Shadowall monsters and build a secret stronghold below, the Supreme God Sect will find out. Once they enter the desert, they will be like turtles in a jar. After speaking somewhat mysteriously, Su Fong walked in front. Arriving at the depths of the desert, she immediately released her life force. A moment later, the surrounding desert still shook, like a sieve sifting sand. Mo Fengjun still could not discern just what method Su Fong had, what plan she had. They're here. These puny Shadowall monsters only have strength between the Heavenly Union realm and the Longevity realm. But with strength, they simply cannot kill indestructible and Yang Soul realm powerhouses. Creak, creak, creak. More than a dozen Shadowall monsters were several times stronger than the Shadowall monsters of the Star Dual Sand Plains. They came to the surface of the sand, and when they saw the two, they immediately savagely crawled over. Suppress. Without needing Mo Fengjun to act, Su Fong used Sword Chi, transforming it into a sword net. Then, with the Pagoda Shadow ability, the sword net combined with the Pagoda Shadow. With a bang, it suppressed the dozen Shadowall monsters. These Shadowall monsters had low intelligence. They could not see the power of Su Fong and Mo Fengjun, practically drilling into the blade's edge. Creak, creak. The dozen Shadowall monsters screamed. They were surrounded by the Pagoda Shadow and Sword Net. Su Fong immediately released a Devil Seal seed, forcibly implanting it into the minds of these Shadowall monsters. Su Fong was not that brat from the Star Dual Sand Plains. She had the strength to suppress these ordinary monsters. She then took out the Primordial Chaos Holy Mirror and swept it. Red light covered the dozen Shadowall monsters, and only then was all of the Shadowall monsters suppressed. This time, I need you to use your powers. Below this desert, in a deeper place, establish a large Immortal's abode. I only need to point, and I can control the Immortal's abode's collapse at any time. What magic weapon is this ancient mirror of yours? Could it be a Dao artifact without the aura of a King Grade artifact at all? Mo Fengjun's gaze fell upon the Primordial Chaos Holy Mirror. As expected of a Yang Soul realm, she could discern the extraordinariness of the Primordial Chaos Holy Mirror at a glance. Su Fong said she did not know that she had unexpectedly obtained a treasure. This explanation was the best explanation. After all, even Mo Fengjun did not know its quality. You want to bury the Supreme God Sect's experts alive? The latter asked again, and use the desert's pressure to make them enter the Immortal's abode, and then confine them here. You and I will hide inside these shadow wall monsters, and we will take advantage of the sand layer's pressure to suppress each of the supreme god sex experts. In addition, the three Yang Soul Realm powerhouses will also suffer the impact of the pressure. They will be unable to use much power, and it will be difficult for them to fly out of the desert in a short amount of time. At that time, you can then take action to suppress them. Would that not be even easier? Furthermore, you and I will hide inside the shadow wall monsters, and we will not be shackled in the desert. That year, I used this kind of method to handle many powerhouses. Good idea. The important point is that you can truly subdue these shadow wall monsters. If you cannot do this, the Yang Soul Realm powerhouses will suffer the shackles of the pressure in the desert. Whoosh! Mo Feng flew out, arriving above the yellow sand, and used an exceptional ability. A storm rolled open in the yellow sand, and a great amount of runic symbols fell within. The yellow sand rolled open a passage, and the runic symbols seized the chance to escape inside. Each of them exploded with dazzling spiritual energy, very quickly forming an underground passage in the desert. Chapter 266. Su Fong waited in the desert. A few days passed in a flash. When he entered the tunnel in the desert, not only was it spacious, it was also very sturdy. After entering a depth of 300 meters, he arrived at the underground palace in the center of the desert. Everything is ready. Building an immortal cave under the desert was a piece of cake for Mo Feng. But if it was Su Fong alone, he wouldn't be able to do it. After walking through the palace, Su Fong came to the center of the palace. Is it possible to make the entire underground space collapse the moment the decree is issued? Mo Feng was full of confidence. From the entrance to the passageway, a large number of array runes have been embedded. This underground palace is the same. As long as the array runes are removed, the entire cave will lose its center of gravity. Under the pressure of the desert, it will collapse in 3 breaths. Even a Yang Soul Realm expert will be buried here. Apart from the Yang Soul Realm experts, most of the imperishable realm and imperishable realm experts will die if they are buried in such a deep underground desert. The power of the earth is undying and indestructible. Unless they are cultivators who have reached the peak of the imperishable realm and rely on transcendent artifacts to survive in the desert, they will be shackled for a few breaths. This period of time is the best time for us to suppress them. You hide here. I will go and see the Supreme Demon King. Mo Feng was at the 7th stage of the Yang Soul Realm. In addition, he controlled this underground space. Even if a few Supreme God Sect disciples could escape, most of the experts would still be suppressed here. They left the underground palace. After waiting in the desert for more than 2 hours, the Supreme Demon King flew over at an astonishing speed. Su Fong brought him into the underground desert to understand the terrain. After he familiarized himself with it, Su Fong asked him to immediately go to Diyuan City. When he was completing the transaction with the Immortal Bestowment Chamber of Commerce, he would purposely reveal a flaw and lure the Supreme God Sex experts here. Seeing that everything was prepared, the Supreme Demon King was no longer afraid of the Supreme God Sex experts. He stepped on his flying sword and flew into the sky. After returning to the underground palace, Su Fong and Mo Feng cultivated while waiting for the Supreme Demon King to lure the Supreme God Sex disciples here. Under Su Fong's control, more than a dozen Shadow monsters were also hiding in the sand layer around the underground palace. Everything was ready and waiting for the fish to take the bait. This wait lasted for more than 2 months. Previously, he had just stepped into the Immortal Stage 4. After absorbing the hottest aura of the world in the desert and digesting the medicinal power of the Immortal Flower, Su Fong's state reached the Immortal Stage 4. If it had been in the past, he would have been gratified by this. However, his current opponents were all in the Imperishable Realm or the Young Infant Realm. As a Longevity Realm cultivator, there was nothing for him to be happy about. Master, there are more than 40 experts of the Supreme God Sect who have been secretly following me. They didn't attack me. They wanted to figure out our stronghold before attacking us. A thought-carrying devil chi descended from the top of the sand layer. We have to make preparations. The Supreme Demon King has already brought the Supreme Deity Sex experts into the desert. Hearing this, Su Fong and Mo Feng Jun arrived at the center of the room and activated the imprint. A shadow monster popped its head out from the wall. The two flashed and took the initiative to fly into the shadow monster's bloody mouth. Riding on the shadow monster, Su Fong crawled under the surface of the desert. After a while, he could clearly sense the Supreme Demon King's aura. He then activated his perfect hearing to confirm that the Supreme Demon King was in front of the tunnel. After looking around, he entered the tunnel. So it's here. A sneaky and complacent voice came from near the tunnel. Tell the others to quietly approach this place. This time, we're going to make a contribution. The Supreme God Sect has spent a lot of effort to find the organization behind the aphrodisiac pill. The other party is a young infant realm third layer expert. We only have 3 experts here. What if there are even stronger opponents below? Anyway, we have already notified the branch to come and help. We can capture as many as we can. As long as we capture a few people, we will naturally be able to find out all the secrets of this organization. This is what the Supreme God Sect wants. Lords, everyone is in position. Use the Heaven Pillar Spirit locking formation. Seal this desert with an area of 10 li. Anyone who escapes will be suppressed. Some of them will control the formation, while the others will follow us and kill our way in. Yes, the Supreme God Sect's experts came suddenly, and their actions were also unexpected. They immediately started to form the formation. Soon, Su Fong felt a large amount of formation aura seeping down from the sand layer. Let's go down and meet with Demon King Supreme first. Su Fong and Mo Feng Jun both sensed that the Supreme God Sect was taking action. After a while, they returned to the underground palace. Su Fong asked Demon King Supreme to enter the body of a shadow monster. There should be a young infant realm expert leading the Supreme God Sect's disciples here. There will be some people controlling the formation above. Demon King Supreme, control the shadow monster and return to the surface. When you see this desert starting to collapse, you will sneak attack the Supreme God Sect's strongest young infant realm expert. You don't have to kill him, just delay them. Master, don't worry. I have the Myriad World Banner. Even if I encounter a strong opponent, they won't be able to do anything to me. Demon King Supreme chuckled as he controlled the shadow monster and disappeared. Mo Feng Jun and Su Fong each entered the body of a shadow monster and climbed into the wall. They hid in the sand layer, one on the left and one on the right. Leech King, Su Fong, then summoned the powerful expert in his hand. Leech King looked around and saw that they were in the desert. He felt abnormally uneasy. Master, such a dry, illusory realm isn't suitable for this subordinate to use. After forming the hand seals, the shadow monster opened its mouth and another shadow monster appeared. It's fine. You can enter the body of the shadow monster and don't need to enter the sand layer. Use the shadow monster speed and suppress the Supreme God Sect's disciples as it opens its mouth. I want them alive, don't kill them. So that's how it is. Leech King happily entered. They are here. On the other side, Mo Feng Jun, who was hiding, had the most astonishing senses, especially since this underground palace was under his control. There are more than 20 people coming down. More than 10 people are staying above. There is a young infant realm expert, and the other 2 young infant realm experts are leading people 30 meters deep. What is the cultivation of these 2 people? One is at the 4th stage of the young infant realm, and the other is at the 6th stage of the young infant realm. There's a 3rd stage young infant realm cultivator on the ground. When we take action later, you deal with the 6th stage young infant realm expert first. In such an environment and under my control, even a 7th stage young infant realm expert will be suppressed by me. Master, don't worry. I have already tracked down the exact location of these 2 experts. I will be nearby to assist you. If they want to escape, I will use my artifact to severely injure them. After the 2 communicated for a while, Su Fong told the Leech King and the Supreme Demon King about the movements of the Supreme God Sect's disciples. They also had 3 young infant realm experts on their side. In addition to the natural desert environment, they would be sending themselves to their deaths if they came here. The Shadow Wall monster came to the side of the passageway, above the underground palace. It was only 3 meters away from the passageway. Using its perfected hearing ability, it indeed heard more than 20 figures slowly passing by. It then heard the voice of a young infant realm expert. The person we are following is only at the 3rd stage of the young infant realm. Our cultivation is higher than his. Even if there are young infant realm experts below, we are confident that we can suppress them. More than 20 experts continued to approach the underground palace. After descending a few meters, they were about to reach the underground palace. There is indeed the aura of the impotence pill. They're either refining the impotence pill here or setting this place as a temporary stronghold to store the impotence pill or materials. This time, we have no choice but to make a contribution. The 2 young infant realm experts stopped outside the main entrance of the palace. After sensing for a while, the 2 suddenly increased their speed. With a wave of their arms, they brought more than 20 people into the main hall. The other imperishable realm experts charged into the surrounding passageways. There is no one in the main hall, but there is also the aura of the impotence pill. This means that this organization has been building a stronghold here for more than a day or 2. This underground space is extremely huge, and this is only the periphery. The place where they store the pills should be in a certain space in the depths. The 2 young infant realm experts discussed for a while and wanted to leave the main hall. Attack! Su Fong ordered Mo Fongjun. Bang! He heard a shattering sound. Then, the surrounding sand layer and the underground palace in front of them began to shake and shake. What happened? I don't know if it was our people who activated the restriction. Let's leave first to avoid falling into an ambush. The 2 experts hesitated, but in the end, they still decided to leave. They gathered the experts under their command in the main hall. Rumble. After 3 breaths, the entire sand layer suddenly shook faster. The sand layer in front of Su Fong collapsed, and the previous passageways disappeared. A miserable scream came from inside. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. When Su Fong heard the commotion, he immediately ordered the Sha Tuom monsters to approach. He then heard that there were 7 experts who wanted to forcefully charge out of the collapsing sand layer. But soon, they were running at the speed of an ordinary jog. Because they had completely sunk into the sand layer, they were unable to increase their speed. You're the one who only wants to leave now. The world suddenly quieted down. Mo Fongjun was in front of them proudly. Then, with a series of banging sounds, the surrounding sand layer shook again. Then, a begging voice could be heard. Don't kill me, don't kill me. Whoosh! A voice slowly flew above the sand layer. It is another young infant realm expert who wants to escape. This is not your territory, Xin Huang, 6 Paths Pagoda. The begging voice came from a 6th-stage young infant realm expert of the Supreme God Sect who fought with Mo Fongjun and was suppressed by him. But this voice should be the sound left behind by the other 4th-stage young infant realm expert who was escaping. Su Fong was just about to activate the Xianhuang 6 Paths Pagoda to suppress the surroundings where the voice came from, but Mo Fongjun stopped him in time. Riding the Sha Tuom monsters, Su Fong quickly arrived at the source of the voice. When the Sha Tuom monster opened its mouth, he saw a Sha Tuom monster lying in front of the sand layer. From its mouth, a shocking claw mark was entangled in the depths of the sand layer. Mo Fongjun gradually walked out of the Sha Tuom monster's mouth. His hands were releasing claw marks, continuously increasing the speed at which the claw marks were condensing. The tremors in the depths of the sand layer in front of him were getting weaker and weaker. Mo Fongjun laughed coldly and raised his hand domineeringly. With a rumble, a tremor came from the collapsed sand layer. Then, a figure slowly emerged from the claw mark. It was a middle-aged man who was in a sorry state. His entire body was entangled in the claw mark. The middle-aged man wore a black robe, and the red embroidery similar to the supreme god sex could be seen on his collar. His mouth was filled with blood. It seemed that Mo Fongjun did not hold back in the slightest. Furthermore, he was a 7th-stage young infant realm expert. His attacks were heavy, and this 4th-stage young infant realm expert was not his match. "Don't kill me." The supreme god sect expert was forced out of the sand layer. Seeing the terrifying shot to all monsters and Mo Fongjun who could control them, he no longer had the slightest bit of courage. "I don't want to kill you because I don't want to kill you. That's why I went through so much trouble. If I wanted to kill you, you would have already died under the sand layer." Mo Fongjun dragged the expert out and pointed his finger, subduing the expert and sucking him into his palm. It seemed like he had been taught a lesson by the Supreme Demon King. Now that he had fallen into Mo Fengjuan's hands, he naturally wouldn't have a good time. Demon King Shangzuan cupped his fists at Su Fong. "Master, none of the Supreme Divinity disciples who came here will be spared. There are 42 of them in total. 3 of them are at the Yang Nascent Realm, and 39 of them are at the Imperishable Realm." "Very good. Let's go back first. The Supreme God Sect wants to obtain my pill formulas, so there must be reinforcements on the way. We can't fight with the Supreme God Sect openly yet." After they met up, Su Fong sucked all the experts of the Supreme God Sect into the true Devil Blood Plate. Then, Leech King and Supreme Demon King returned to Su Fong's body. Only Mo Fongjun followed Su Fong out of the desert. Meteorite Field Underground Cave. After Su Fong returned, he had Supreme Demon King Shangzuan stay in the cave and supervise everyone refining pills. Su Fong entered the true Devil Blood Plate. The 42 black-robed experts of the Supreme God Sect were bound by devilish chi. They were shackled in the dark space of the magical treasure. The devilish chi was constantly eating away at their bodies and strength. If this continued, they would be killed by the devilish chi sooner or later. Su Fong's arrival brought light to everyone. They were all frightened and kept retreating. However, this was the magical treasure space, so they couldn't escape. "You should be very clear about the outcome. This is my Dharma treasure space, and you have already fallen into my hands." Su Fong had a dominating aura as he shouted in a domineering tone, "Here, it's life and death. Those who become my slaves live." After he finished speaking, he waved his hand and grabbed. The terrifying power of the true demon blood plate easily grabbed the 3 young, nascent realm giants and brought them before him. "The 3 of you are experts of the Supreme God Sect, and your statuses are not low. You came to Yuan City this time to obtain the pill formula for the impotence pill, right?" The 3 of them were already very flustered when they heard this. Now that Su Fong had guessed their purpose, they began to sweat. "If you don't want to say it, then forget it. In any case, the Supreme God Sect's people are my enemies. This time it's you. Next time, it'll be another Supreme God Sect's disciple. I'll kill the 3 of you and refine you into puppets for me to use." Su Fong raised his hand. The true Devil Blood Plate's terrifying power instantly turned into a devilish chi space that enveloped the 3 young nascent experts. "I'm willing to be your servant, Master." "I'm also willing." 2 of the middle-aged men at the 3rd and 4th stage of the Yang nascent realm knelt down. "Good." Su Fong once again controlled the power of heaven and earth and sent it towards the 40-something-year-old expert, the 6th stage of the Yang nascent realm. "You're only at the 6th stage of the Yang nascent realm, yet you still have the qualifications to raise your pitiful pride in front of me. You don't know that in front of me, your life is nothing more than an ant. So what if I kill you?" Buzz buzz. A large amount of devilish chi surged towards the 6th stage Yang nascent realm expert. The 6th stage Yang nascent realm middle-aged man seemed to have made up his mind and was still hesitating. Bang! The surrounding devilish chi contained the power of the demonic disintegration seal. It was like a vast ocean of devilish qi that engulfed the middle-aged man. His body swayed and his eyes narrowed. He looked at Su Fong with trembling, despair, and regret. I said, "If you want to kill me, then kill me. You think I won't kill you? So what if you're a young, nascent realm expert? In front of me, you're just a tool. Ignorant." Su Fong coldly laughed. The sixth-stage young nascent realm expert finally lost all color. A sixth-stage young nascent realm expert died at Su Fong's hands just like that. Master, the 39 imperishable realm experts were so scared that their bodies and minds were about to split apart. At the same time, they knelt before Su Fong to express their submission. True, demonic seal. The demonic seal seed instantly entered the minds of the 41 supreme God sect experts. Su Fong said, "Your origin spirits are under my control. As long as I activate this Dharma treasure, you'll be instantly killed and turned into ashes. Serve me well in the future." "Yes, Master." Everyone bowed. A wisp of devilish qi sucked everyone out of the true demonic blood plate. Within the cave, the 41 supreme God sect experts appeared at the same time. After leaving the true demonic blood plate, everyone was finally able to absorb the devilish qi without worry. They looked around and realized that this place had become a cave for refining pills. "Master," Luan Mo walked over. "Take these 39 imperishable realm experts and teach them how to refine the impotence pill," Su Fong ordered, and the latter took the 39 experts away. In the past few years, Demon King Shangzuan had captured 27 and 12 imperishable realm experts. In addition to the 39 imperishable realm experts now, there were 78 imperishable realm slaves. With 78 imperishable realm slaves and the dozen or so imperishable realm slaves from before, there were almost 100 imperishable realm slaves. Now, there was no need to rush to refine the impotence pill. At least in the next 10 years or so, Su Fong could slowly suppress the slaves without a problem. Su Fong ordered 2 more young soul realm experts of the Supreme God sect to kneel. One of them was called Zhua Zuifeng, and the other was called Xiahou Ling. Their cultivations were about the same as Demon King Shangzuan. One of them was at the 3rd stage, while the other was at the 4th stage. Unfortunately, the 6th-stage expert insisted on resisting Su Fong and was killed in the end. Staring at Zhua Zuifeng and Xiahou Ling, he said, "The Supreme God sect has been tracking down the whereabouts of the impotence pill all these years." Yes, ever since the impotence pill appeared in the underground market and then mysteriously disappeared, the various branches of the Supreme God sect received orders to secretly search for the whereabouts of the impotence pill. This time, our branch obtained the whereabouts of the impotence pill, so we came to Yuan City first. Zhua Zuifeng and Xiahou Ling honestly told him everything they knew. The 2 of them were protectors of the branch of the Supreme God sect. The branch let the 3 of us come first to secretly investigate the whereabouts of the impotence pill. In the end, we really did find something, but then Zhua Zuifeng, who was at the 3rd stage of the Yang Soul Realm side. After understanding the general situation, Su Fong asked again, "Do you know someone called Ru Lao in the underground market of the Spirit Sect ruins? He's in charge of the Chamber of Commerce." Xiahou Ling replied, "You should be talking about Dan Ru. We know this person. When we went to the main sect, he was sometimes in charge of receiving people. However, his position in the main sect is also ordinary. I heard that he violated the sect's rules last time and was punished. He might not be a member of the Supreme God sect anymore." Taking out the life-demanding list, he said, "This is the life-demanding list. Look at this disciple called Fang Yu, who came from a self-proclaimed immortal sect. Do you know about his bounty? Fang Yu's bounty is 2 million undying pure essence pills." The 2 of them carefully looked at each other. "We know that most of the affairs of the branch are carried out at the same time as the main sect. If the main sect has any missions, they will also send them to the branch. This Fang Yu from the immortal sect ruined our cooperation with the twin immortal sect in the Heavenly Gourd region. Because of that, the main sect put a bounty on him. Then look at this bounty. He's also called Fang Yu. The 2 of them should be connected, right? We also had doubts about this before. We asked the main sect for instructions. They felt that the Feng Yu who appeared in the spirit sect ruins was not the same person as the Feng Yu from the immortal sect. One is an expert alchemist, while the other is an ordinary disciple. However, both of them are targets that the main sect is looking for. We will carry out their orders and do our best to capture them and bring them back to the main sect. I want to know why your divine sect cooperated with the twin immortal sect to capture the female disciples of the great powers in the heavenly gourd region. We don't know the specifics, but something similar happened before. It was nothing more than capturing the female disciples of the great powers and selling them to the twin immortal sect. Then, the twin immortal sect would sell these women to some experts for dual cultivation. The twin immortal sect earned astonishing benefits from this, so they cooperated with the divine sect and often captured some outstanding female cultivators in the Zhuotian realm. Among them, the female disciples of the Zhuan Pavilion were the center. I heard that the experts from the small worlds all wanted to use the twin immortal sect to find the female disciples of the Zhuan Pavilion to dual cultivate. This is because the cultivation method of the Zhuan Pavilion specializes in cultivating extreme yin qi, and male cultivators need to gather yin qi to replenish yang. So that's how it is. He understood and felt lucky. If he hadn't accidentally met Qian Huanyun and saved Xiao Mei, her ending would have been, "Master, we will respect you from now on. Whatever you want us to do, we will definitely do it. Don't kill us." The two experts trembled and kowtowed again. "You two will follow the Supreme Demon King to cultivate alchemy. I want to refine a large amount of yang-strengthening pills. You two can rest assured and work hard for me. Not only will I not kill you, but I will also give you resources to make you stronger step by step." Su Feng called the Supreme Demon King over. The two of them were polite in front of the Supreme Demon King. They followed him to the pill cauldron and began to refine pills. Seeing so many young nascent realm experts and undead realm slaves in front of them, they could finally cultivate in peace for a period of time without worrying about alchemy. Chapter 268. Within Xinhuang's space, Su Feng arrived in front of Green Feather King. With a wave of his hand, the corpse of the Supreme God Sect's young, nascent expert appeared. Such a 6th-level young nascent expert was killed by you. What a pity. Green Feather King's eyes were icy. Leaving the corpse in the air, Su Feng bowed. "I want to refine this corpse into a puppet, but it's impossible for a longevity expert to refine a young nascent expert into a puppet. I'll have to trouble Senior to help me. You should study as well." It seemed refining a puppet, especially a young nascent puppet, was a piece of cake for Green Feather King. He stood up and walked to the other side of the space. He pulled the young nascent expert's corpse in front of him and examined it. Qi. Inadvertently, Green Feather King's demonic qi transformed into a powerful force that stiffened the young nascent expert's corpse. The aura of a demonic claw waited until the corpse was in the air before slowly measuring the area between the corpse's abdomen and chest. The corpse's clothes instantly turned to dust. Green Feather King pointed at the corpse. "A puppet is a weapon. Weapons don't need organs, and puppets are the same." Green Feather King then sent his demonic qi into the corpse. After searching it for a while, he actually managed to force out a sharp sword. And it was a peak high-grade enchanted item. Controlling this flying sword, he slowly sliced the corpse's abdomen. With a whoosh, a foot-long sword wound was left on the corpse's chest. The snow-white and scarlet wound slowly opened, but no blood came out. He could see the corpse's innards. Flying Tiger King. Green Feather King called Flying Tiger King over. The junior commander knelt before the senior commander. He had given the young nascent expert's innards to Flying Tiger King to devour. Flying Tiger King was eager to devour the young nascent expert's flesh. It wasn't just the innards. There was also the corpse's brain. Green Feather King had Su Feng take out a jade bottle. Under his pressure, all the young nascent expert's blood was forced out. This was a true treasure. Flying Tiger King's eyes almost popped out his head. Unfortunately, he couldn't obtain such a good thing. If I sell this much young nascent expert's blood, I can exchange it for a huge amount of resources. It'll be of great help to my cultivation. It can also be used as a reward for my undying servants. The blood of a young nascent soul cultivator had many benefits. After absorbing all the blood essence from the corpse became a dried-up corpse that was about to dry up. The puppet's body is our spirit gourds of. Following Greenfeather King's instructions, Su Fong began to form hand seals, condensing his own aura into the puppet. Greenfeather King then perfectly fused Su Fong's energy with the puppet. A young nascent golden core flew out of the puppet's lower abdomen. To control the puppets, you have to control their golden cores. Without a golden core, the puppets can only use their physical strength. But with a golden core, they can use the runes you planted in them, as well as all kinds of seals to activate your divine abilities, explained Greenfeather King. A golden core. This golden core contained a vast amount of energy. For Su Fong to control it, it was impossible. A young nascent expert's power was not something Eternal could handle. Greenfeather King helped Su Fong control the golden core. It took several days for the golden core to be refined and fused back into the puppet's body. The puppet should be about to be refined. Su Fong said, "This corpse's divine aperture no longer has any magic power. I can't see the legendary young nascent soul. The young nascent soul is an existence that controls magic power. Since you killed this expert soul, his young nascent soul will scatter. Without the young nascent soul controlling the divine aperture, most of the magic power inside will disappear. The remaining magic power can only allow the puppet to activate a portion of its divine abilities. The puppet's overall strength hasn't reached the 6th heaven stage. It should be around the 4th heaven stage. In the future, if you understand the Tao of refining, you can refine it into a human-shaped magic treasure. But this fellow will probably quickly become cannon fodder in your hands." And then a month passed. Greenfeather King suppressed his own aura. Su Fong stood up. With a thought, the puppet changed into a black robe. Its right hand grasped a high-grade flying sword. Activating a seal, the puppet appeared on Su Fong's left. As Su Fong stared ahead, the puppet leaped forward, stabbing its sword into the void. Just the puppet's own power, the high-grade flying sword, and its speed were enough to deal with any opponent at the bottom level of the young nascent realm. You have to implant a lot of top-grade spirit stones into the puppet's body. That way, it'll be easier for you to control it. Because the puppet can't cultivate on its own, it consumes energy each time it's activated, said Greenfeather King. He returned to Bai Ling's side and sat down. The 6 junior commanders also sat around him. Refining a puppet was relatively easy. This was a very common low-level puppet. As for high-level puppets, they would retain their magic power. That kind of puppet strength was comparable to before it died. As for the puppet in Su Fong's hands, it was much weaker than before. After activating the puppet a few more times, Su Fong completely adapted to the puppet's attack methods. Only then did he absorb the puppet into his body so that he could activate it at any time. This meant that the 500 years of life that he had consumed was about to be restored. As long as he broke through to the immortal realm 5th tier, these 500 years would truly be recovered. He then looked at the spiritual tree seed in the spiritual pool. It had been slowly absorbing the spiritual water of the earth boundary, but there was no sign of a sprout transformation. He then entered the highest space of Xianhuang and looked at the flaming cloud spiritual gourd. The gourd's changes were obvious. It was almost fusing with the sword Qi origin spirit. Soon, the spiritual consciousness of the flaming cloud spiritual gourd would fuse with the sword Qi origin spirit and finally become the spiritual gourd's origin spirit. Once the spiritual gourd's origin spirit was formed, the flaming cloud spiritual gourd would become both an offensive and storage dharma treasure. The flaming cloud spiritual gourd could store a large number of items and also spit out green fiend true fire. The 13 fire crystal golems were also cultivating and condensing their consciousnesses. Inside the purple cloud dharma treasure, the fire deity elephant and the dragon taming wood were also cultivating normally. In addition to the fusion of the Xianwang's 6 paths pagoda, Su Fang's overall strength was changing day by day. 3 months later, the Supreme Demon King returned. He first brought back the previous year's sales, then high-grade spirit stones. With these spirit stones, or pure elemental pills, he would be able to do well in any small world. The Supreme Demon King also brought back more refining materials. Master, most of the shops in the Yuan City are now in a state of shortage of refining materials. I have to leave the Yuan City and go to other trading cities to buy materials. Su Fang said, I want to hand Zhua Zuifeng and Xia Howling over to you. However, the Supreme God Sect should be in the Yuan City looking for them. You have to do this personally. In the future, I will capture some young nascent realm giants, so you don't have to run around. Those two indeed can't be taken out. They have the aura of the Supreme God Sect. Once they go near to Yuan City, they will be sensed by the Supreme God Sect's experts. There will be endless troubles. It's better to leave them in Master's treasure space. This place is already on the right track. In the future, you and Luan Mo will be in charge of this place. Just maintain the current amount of refining pills. When I come back from the Celestial Sealing Sect, I will definitely bring more servants. At that time, the pace of refining pills will be increased. Luan Mo also came to the side. Su Fang told them that he was going to leave the meteorite and return to the Celestial Sealing Sect. He had already achieved his goal. His cultivation had increased, and the impotence pill had been sold. Luan Mo, you are a true devil. Every servant here has a devil seal planted with the power of the true devil blood plate. Even the Supreme Demon King will be controlled by your true devil power. If there is anything wrong with any of them, just kill them. He secretly gave Luan Mo the order. The latter was overjoyed. His status was higher than the Supreme Demon King. Since Su Fang valued him so much, he would definitely not be a simple servant in the future. After arranging everything, Su Fang quietly left the meteorite. He transformed into Fang Yu's appearance and stepped on his wind and fire dual spirit swords. In about a day, he would return to the Celestial Sealing Sect after 5 years. What? Fang Yu is finally back? Withered Wood Paradise Hua Daoying, who was cultivating, suddenly checked his medallion. His eyes flickered with excitement. He's back at the right time. Because of what happened last time, Xueqing has always treated me like a human. Only by killing Fang Yu will he be happy. If Fang Yu doesn't die, I won't be put in an important position in the Crown Prince Society. He didn't expect Yin Kaifeng to have such a thorough understanding of his strength. Su Fang lowered his head and pondered. What kind of mission was this? Wouldn't it be easier to carry it out if he directly sent an immortal disciple? Yin Kaifeng seemed to see what Su Fang was thinking. Your mission is to bring a treasure from the Starfish Heavenly Island back to the Crimson Firmament Continent. When you go, you can use the Mystic Door, but when you come back, you can only use other methods to escort it back to the Crimson Firmament Continent. As long as you reach the Crimson Firmament Continent, I will meet you. At that time, your mission will be considered completed. It's just escorting a treasure. With so much effort, Su Fang felt that the mission could not be so simple. It's like this. Hearing Su Fang's doubtful tone and gaze, Yin Caifeng's voice became more and more dignified. In the Starfish Heavenly Island, we are a chamber of commerce located near the boundary of the Myriad Treasures Path. Through cooperation with the Myriad Treasures Path, a disciple carelessly traded an unusual treasure with the Myriad Treasures Path as an ordinary item. Later, the higher-ups of the Chamber of Commerce learned about this and decided to secretly snatch this magic treasure. However, it has to be done by an outsider. After all, the sect can't do such a treacherous thing openly. What you have to do is to snatch this treasure and then hand it to you. You have to take the treasure back to the Crimson Firmament Continent with an ordinary longevity realm cultivation base. Su Fong frowned. Does the myriad treasures path know the true value of that treasure? Since they know this, they hurriedly made the trade at a low price. This matter seems to be our fault, but in fact, the myriad treasures path has gone overboard. They clearly know that it's the fault of their disciple, but they still want to take advantage of it. Since they are unjust, why should we hand over the treasure? Moreover, this treasure is of great significance to the sect and can't be obtained by outsiders. You are in longevity realm and an ordinary disciple. No one would suspect that you have a treasure. Moreover, the Starfish Heavenly Island is the territory of the myriad treasures path. They won't easily let people take away the treasure. Your strength and your potential to surpass ranks are the reasons why you carried out this mission. If it were an undying disciple who carried out this mission, it's very likely that he wouldn't be able to escape the investigation of the myriad treasures path. What I need to do is to bring the treasure back. Do you think it's simple? When the treasure is lost, the myriad treasures path will set up all kinds of checkpoints, especially in various places. The myriad treasures path will try their best to get information about you. In the end, you can only return to the Crimson Heaven continent by yourself. It is also the treasury of all the cultivators and powers in the Jua Heaven realm. It forbids any foreign cultivators from entering to steal treasures. There are also immortal ruins in other small worlds, and no one is allowed to approach them. The Xinjia Gate has been in the Jua Heaven realm for a very long time. It seems that no one is clear when it came to the Jua Heaven realm. When it first appeared, countless powers in the Jua Heaven realm set off a bloody storm for it. They all wanted to enter to steal treasures and take the immortal ruin for themselves. I heard that it lasted for 1,000 years, but in the end, no one obtained any benefits. In the end, the major powers took the lead to end the slaughter and formed an alliance to enter. I heard that they didn't obtain much valuable treasures at that time. Later on, there were several public attempts to enter the Xinjia Gate. Some powers were lucky enough to obtain treasures. Chapter 270. The Xinjia Gate made Green Feather King sink into a serious state for a long time. The Xinjia Gate is terrifying because there's an immortal formation formed by a Dao item inside. Once you're trapped inside, you can't come out for the rest of your life. For many years, many young soul geniuses have been trapped there and died. I heard that even immortals can't come out alive after being trapped inside. Therefore, it's still very far from you. This king doesn't dare to enter the depths of the Xinjia Gate. The Xinjia Gate is so terrifying. Doesn't the spirit sect have the divine jade annulus? It's also a Dao item. Why didn't the spirit sect fight the Green Lotus Sword sect for this Dao item? Dao item, it was a distant existence, but Su Fong was right in front of him because he had a Dao item magic treasure. The divine jade annulus had an even more powerful origin saint. Even the Xianhuang Six Paths Pagoda was an existence close to a Dao item. I don't understand it very well. Dao items are powerful, but Dao items are also divided into different grades. I think the Divine Jade Annulus is just an ordinary Dao item, while the Xinjia Gate is a rare Dao item. Dao items are treasures that only immortals can wield. Even if the spirit sect is powerful, can it completely activate the Divine Jade Annulus? That's why the spirit sect can't use the Divine Jade Annulus to continue on. Everything will depend on fate. Perhaps experts who go to the Xinjia Gate will be helpless, but you have your own luck and opportunity. Xinjia Gate, the most dangerous place in the Zhuotian realm. Su Fong was full of anticipation. Ethereal paradise touching immortal heaven, a huge training ground. Senior Crown Prince. There were many people in the main hall of Xueqing's training ground. Xueqing and the Crown Prince of the Qing Kingdom sat at the front. Below them are the Crown Prince of the Qing Kingdom, Hua Daoying, and 10 others. The arrival of the Crown Prince of the Qing Kingdom made Xueqing courteous. After all, he was an immortal giant. He was the one with the highest status and the strongest strength here. He immediately looked at Xueqing and said, "Just now, The upper echelons of our party secretly went through a lot of trouble and finally found out about the mission that Frozen Moon Grotto Heaven had given to Fong Yu. He was going to Starfish Sky Island to carry out a very secret mission. Our hall knows roughly where he is going, but we can't find out the secret. We only need his general whereabouts. The Starfish Sky Island is the territory of the Xiaoyao School and the Myriad Treasures Path. Their influence is incomparably complex, and we can get rid of Fong Yu. Thank you, Senior Crown Prince, for your trouble. Shui Qing stood up and bowed to the Crown Prince of the Qing Kingdom politely. Your Crown Prince is currently in seclusion. The 3 disciples of the Path of the Honored Elders will be assigned missions. The sect will also be making many big moves. The upper echelons of the party hope that you could do a clean job of killing Fong Yu. Let everyone know what the consequences of ignoring the Crown Prince's party are. This time, let the Crown Prince of the Qing Kingdom accompany you. The Qing Crown Prince signaled to the Qing Prince in front of everyone. The latter seethed with murderous intent and looked like he would not rest until he killed Su Fong. This time, I will personally make a trip to the Starfish continent and use the Crown Prince Society's influence there to find out Fong Yu's whereabouts. Shui Qing nodded to the Qing Prince and then bowed to send the Crown Prince off. Frozen Moon Cave, 3 days later. When Su Fong left the cave, Yin Kaifeng was already waiting for him. Buzz! A magical door appeared, and Yin Kaifeng said, "It's most convenient to go from the Yuan City to the Starfish Sky Island. You and I will go to the Yuan City first." The 2 of them entered the magical door. After Yin Kaifeng formed a seal, Su Fong felt as if there was nothing beneath his feet. It was as if his body was being swallowed by the airflow. There was always a force pulling him, and in front of him was the dazzling Xianguang. In the blink of an eye, there was another buzz, and Su Fong felt that his body had weight again. He looked around in disbelief and saw that there was a huge spiritual altar made of high-grade spirit stones. There were dozens of young infant realm cultivators around him. They were from the Celestial Sealing Sect. Woo! He finally saw a large number of young infant realm cultivators from the Celestial Sealing Sect. This spiritual altar seemed to be the foundation of the magical door. It was made with a large number of spirit stones and could only be opened by a large number of young infant realm cultivators. In just a breath's time, they were able to go from the Celestial Sealing Sect to the Yuan City. It was so fast that Su Fong could not believe it. Sect Master, Senior Sister. At this moment, an elder came to the spiritual altar and bowed politely to Yin Kaifeng. I have received a decree from the higher-ups. I have been waiting for Senior Sister here for a long time. Yin Kaifeng said, "This is disciple Fong Yu, who is going to use the magical door to go to the Starfish Sky Island. He is the one carrying out the mission. Later on, he will hide his identity and be teleported to the Heavenly Treasure Royal City with the others." Yes. The elder took a look at Su Fong and then turned to make preparations. Su Fong also changed into a gray Dao robe. He had everything that represented the Celestial Sealing Sect, except for his appearance. "I can only send you this far. I can only send you up to here. This is a command medallion. When you return to the Crimson Nimbus continent, as long as you activate this command medallion, I will use the mystical teleportation gate to rush to a city near you.